It is a beautiful Friday night here in Hagersville, Ontario. We are here inside the ILA Sports Store as Game 1 of the Mann Cup, the 2016 Mann Cup, is about to unfold. We are your tournament hosts, Sam McDade, alongside Matt Carrick. Matt, isn't it just a great night for lacrosse?
Well, it always is. You're asking the wrong guy for that. I always think it's a great night for lacrosse, but a fantastic night for the Mann Cup as well. It's been a long road for both of these two teams to get here. I know summer fans have been looking forward to this all across the country, and finally time to get started here with the Mann Cup. As they said in the press conference yesterday, a lot of lacrosse players want to win this. This is one of the most coveted trophies, even more so perhaps than the NLL Championship. So getting set for a great tournament here.
Well, we want to welcome you and thank you for tuning in to JVI Sports Network as Six Nations is going to be taking on Maple Ridge. Let's touch on those two teams first. A little bit of insight, Matt. What do you got for me here tonight?
Well, they're both the third seed coming out of their respective divisions, Maple Ridge in the WLA and then Six Nations here in Major Series Lacrosse. So both of them coming in as the third seed. It was talked about yesterday, the fact that not many people thought that either team would be here in this tournament, in this best-of-7 series, but they both made it, both of them facing some adversity throughout the season, but they're both here, and it's going to be, as I said, a great final series.
I had the opportunity to, after that press conference, talk to Ben McIntosh of the Maple Ridge team, and he said that they had a bit of a rocky landing coming into Hamilton rather than Toronto. They tried to land twice in Toronto, but with that storm we had the other night, they ended up having to land in Hamilton. He said, on the way home, it might be a little less shaky if the Mann Cup was on board.
Yeah, it's a pretty good trophy. I don't know if that'll even the weight out in the plane or not, but as we said, Maple Ridge battling adversity all season long. We know what happened at the beginning of the year, but of course, having to face Victoria, the defending champions in that final series, and then coming here. So adversity is nothing new for them. Just a good welcome to Ontario, I guess.
Well, we wouldn't be talking about these two teams here, Six Nations and Maple Ridge, if it wasn't for their incredible journeys here. 6 games for Maple Ridge to get here, 7 for Six Nations. Let's start off, Matt, with that WLA.
Yeah, despite big performances from Reese Dutch and Corey Small in that WLA final series, it was Mike Mallory, who is going to be a name that's going to be talked about a lot here on the Ontario side of things. But 10-9, as you said, for Maple Ridge, pulling it out against Victoria. Tight series, all 6 games. Tight series as well in Major Series is a great 7-game set between those two teams.
Well, I definitely want to talk a little bit about Six Nations and their Game 7 pull through. It was a bit of a rocky start for them. They were down by 3 on the brink of elimination. And then Cody Jamieson making a return from injury, mustering 11 points in those 4 games and actually pulling through for his team. But enough of the Game 6 and 7 analysis. Let's talk about Game 1 of the Mann Cup Finals. Pat, Steven, let's send it up to you guys.
Hey, thanks, Sam and Matthew. I'm Stephen Stamp here with Pat Gregoire.
It's Stephen, right?
It is Stephen, yes. And we're expecting some terrific lacrosse here. When you look to Game 1 of the Mann Cup, the one thing that happens often is the road team has a tough time because they're still adjusting. So it could be a challenge for Maple Ridge, but we've seen some teams be successful on the road. Langley in 2012 won the first 2 games in Peterborough. Six Nations, when they went out to Victoria in 2013, won the first game. So it can be done, and I'll tell you, the Maple Ridge coaches were raring to go before the game. They're like, a couple hours ago, they're like, let's start now.
Yeah, you know what? You could tell they were out warming up, taking their shots, really fired up. Six Nations a little more lackadaisical, but we saw that even when they were down 0-3 in that series. They were very, very laid back, and that's just the approach they take. You see a Peterborough team that went to 7. They were more serious. So I'm going to see maybe more of that approach from the Burrards. But Six Nations, they're just so relaxed, and it doesn't matter what point in the game it is. They always know, what, we're just here to play lacrosse.
Sam mentioned she had a chance to talk to Ben McIntosh. We're going to see what he had to say prior to this series getting going.
Had an opportunity to talk to Ben McIntosh. Ben, welcome to the Mann Cup. First off, let's talk about your first appearance in the Mann Cup and how excited you are to be here.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. I've actually never played out of this arena, so it's a pretty cool place to play and a special place. So, no, we're excited to be here.
Let's start off talking about that arena. You guys are a 7-game series for the Mann Cup, and you guys will be playing 7 games away as an away team. How does that make it different for you guys in this game, and how do you guys work that to play in your favor?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a challenge playing somewhere where you've never played before in front of fans. You know, from what I've heard, they've had pretty passionate fans out here, so I think that'll definitely help them out a bit. But in our series against Victoria, you know, we won 3 games away, so I think it's something we're used to and we'll be okay with.
So your lead scorer for your guys' team in playoffs, 20 goals, 23 assists. Let's talk about, maybe brag about yourself a little bit here so the fans can get to know you a bit, what you bring to this series and to help your team.
Yeah, I think I'm more of a player who plays off the ball, which is why you'll generally see goals and assists are pretty similar. Where a lot of guys, you know, who pass the ball a bit more and carry the ball in their sticks, they'll have, you know, a lot more assists. So, I mean, yeah, no, it's a credit to the guys on the floor that are able to find me if I get into open space, and hopefully the ball goes in.
Now, we've been talking to other teammates and other players on the opposing team, Six Nations. Let's talk a little bit about your team, Maple Ridge, and what really makes you guys different and what you guys bring to this Mann Cup here.
Yeah, I mean, we're a younger team. You know, these guys, the Six Nations team, they have a ton of experience. They have a ton of guys playing in the NLL, which helps them out a lot. But I think we got some young guys. We got some speed out the back end. We got some speed up front. So hopefully we can use that to our advantage.
Now, you guys are at the WLA. You guys are the best team there. You guys won that. Coming into play, an Eastern team, what's that going to be like? Does anything change for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, when you get to the Mann Cup, it's just like playoff lacrosse. It's a whole nother level, and I think the speed of the game is going to be really fast. I think emotions are going to run high, and so again, it's going to be a complete battle and something we're going to have to adjust to pretty quick.
Now, Ben, let's talk really quickly. I know we joked about this earlier, but you guys kind of rough landing here coming into Toronto. What was that like? And just let the viewers know.
Yeah, so we actually took 2 attempts to land in Toronto, and our plane was getting tossed around pretty good out there. And so kind of last second, the plane just jetted back up in the air. And I'm not particularly a nervous flyer, but that definitely made me a bit nervous. So we ended up having to land in Hamilton after our second attempt failed in Toronto.
So you guys would be a little bit more comfortable flying home if you had the Mann Cup on board.
That would be nice, and hopefully we can make it on our first try.
Well, thanks, Ben, for talking with us.
Awesome.
All right, that was an interesting talk with Ben McIntosh, and downplaying his own role in those points a bit. I think he is a great shooter, and he says, you know, they find him when he gets open. He's very good at getting open, and he was accurate that they have a lot of young legs, and they believe very much in themselves on this Maple Ridge team.
Yeah, I think you kept hearing, and I know it's pretty typical when you hear lacrosse players talk team. But that's what this Maple Ridge Burrard's team, it is a team.
Yeah.
They score by committee. They play defense by committee. Obviously, they have, you know, an outstanding goaltender, which we'll talk about later in Ciliano, but it's just there's not one individual player. Obviously, you know, McIntosh has been their standout player, but you can't really point to one player on the team and say, you know, he's the reason why they're there. They're a very, very strong team and not too many individual talents.
Some people are saying that Cody Jamieson is the reason why the Six Nations Chiefs are here, because they are 0-3 with him out of the lineup. He came back, they went 4-0. Let's hear what Sam had to say with Cody Jamieson before the series.
Having the opportunity now to talk to Cody Jamieson. Cody, you guys, let's start off with the last series that you guys played against the Peterborough Lakers. You went to 7 games, and you came in at a really, really convenient time where you guys had 3 games down, and then you guys won the next 4. So let's talk about, you know, what changed in the dynamic of the game there.
I think everybody just kind of settled down, and you know, with our backs against the wall, we can't lose another period, and you know, I think that we all rallied around. Nobody wanted our season to be over that quickly. You know, we all. At the start of the summer, you know, you plan on playing in the Mann Cup. So, you know, we just took it game by game, period by period, and, you know, we came out on top. Like I said, our backs were against the wall, and you lose one period, and, you know, it could be the end of it. So, you know, we really just focused and buckled down.
Now let's talk a little bit about rallying. You came back from injury to play in the next 4 games, and you doubled your playoff points, 11 points in that series. What worked for you? What sparked?
I think it was just, you know, adrenaline. The fact that, you know, that we were down by so much, and we couldn't afford to have a bad shift, and, you know, I didn't really play that much, a lot of power play time, and, you know, a lot of time, you know, just short changes and stuff like that. But, you know, it's a game of lacrosse, and, you know, you're doing all you can to help the team out, and, you know, I was fortunate enough to put up a couple points, and, you know, got a couple easy shots off, and, you know, I'm glad I scored them, and glad I was able to help the team.
Now let's talk about teams, and you're playing a team from the WLA now in this final series. What's it like to play a team from a different league there?
Yeah, we're all lacrosse players at the end of the day. Their style is a little bit different than ours. We haven't had a chance to really see too much of them playing, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Come game one, but we're all lacrosse players and we're all out there. We play the same games with the same refs and in the same place, so it should be a great series.
Now it's time to brag a little bit about your team. What does your team bring to this series that might be a little bit different from other teams, or what do you think is going to help the team win?
Yeah, I like our team. We're very well balanced. We got a lot of firepower up front. A lot of guys who can put the ball in the net. And guys are taking on roles that normally they wouldn't have. With that much firepower, there's only one ball. Only one guy gets the shot, and everybody's buying in, and nobody's caring who gets that shot and who gets that goal. It's just a total team effort up front. Our back end's always been our strong point. Our defense is really big, really fast, really aggressive, really smart. So I think they're the best, and our goalie's definitely proved himself. Dylan Ward, he's a championship caliber goalie. He's won championships before, and he's definitely the backbone when our defense makes a mistake, which is rarely. He's there to make the save. So I think we got a good lineup. A good management did a great job putting us all together. I think we're a solid team.
Yeah, solid in the MSL. You guys are the best right now. Let's talk about these next 7 games you have at home. You got home field court advantage, 7 series. Let's talk about that and what it's going to be like playing in front of your fans at home for that.
Yeah, anytime we play here, I think our record shows here that we play here the best. We're comfortable here. We got our dressing room, we got our fans, we got our floor. I just think our comfort level is a lot higher here than when we have to go other places. So we're definitely excited to be home here for the full 7 games. We're excited to bring the Mann Cup tournament back to the reserve here, and we're excited to give our fans an opportunity to see us hopefully hoist the cup.
Well, JVI Sports Network is definitely excited to cover that entire 7-game series. Thanks for talking with me, Cody.
Thanks.
Hey again, lacrosse friends. Again, Stephen Stamp with Pat Gregoire. Thanks to Sam and with Cody Jamieson and Ben McIntosh. And Jamieson, what a difference. He downplayed a little bit his impact, but he made such a difference in that series.
Oh, absolutely. You can argue that Dylan Ward was the MVP because how solid he was in between the pipes. But just the dynamic of that offense completely changed once Jamieson touched the floor. When 88 was out there was so much more confidence. There was so much flow to their game. And it also then freed up space for Dane Smith to get more open looks. Austin Stotts, a star was born. It seemed as soon as Jamieson was in the lineup, they just got that little bit of hope that they weren't done just yet.
And now, looking at the floor, it appears he is not in the lineup tonight. We didn't think he would be dressing. Doesn't look like Cody Jamieson will be playing tonight, but we'll find out for sure when we come back. Right now, back down to Sam McDade.
Well, thanks, Stephen and Pat. That's a good tidbit of information there, and you only hear that on our pregame show here at JVI Sports Network. Thank you guys for tuning in for the first portion of our pregame show. We got a lot coming up after the break. We are going to tell you who the top 10 point getters in the Mann Cup history are. And you guys, you definitely want to know, because what if that gets topped in the 2016 Mann Cup? Also, we got a killer studio, me and Matt, so we're not going to show you right now. You got to tune in for that, guys. Keep with us.
Born of the Huron and of the Mohawk, of the wilderness, of strength and endurance. This is Canada. This is lacrosse. Our country, our sport. Canada's national summer sport, lacrosse.
Thank you for sticking with us here on JVI Sports Network. We've got the bottom half of our pregame show here, and as promised, we are going to show you our killer studio. Sam McDade alongside Matt Carrick. Matt, what do you think of our new digs?
It's pretty good. We've been hanging out all day, getting things set up. We got a good look just over our shoulders here behind the jerseys. Our thanks to both of the training staffs for Maple Ridge and Six Nations for providing us with the backdrop here. But as you can see, just behind us there, the great view of the floor. It's going to be a good view for the Mann Cup here.
Well, you know what? Let's move on to something really exciting and historic here. Besides our set, the Mann Cup top 10 scores. And I know you've got a few little tidbits on the first few players. Matt, why don't you take this one away for a bit?
Yeah, obviously John Tavares leading the way there. The assistant coach now with the Six Nation Chiefs, coaching number 9, Dan Dawson, and a number of huge names on that list, but the Six Nations connection is strong there, as well as Colin Doyle, not in the lineup due to injury this year. And as you can see on the end there, the number of times these players have been in this series, we're going to keep our eye on Dan Dawson. 8 times in this series so far, not counting this one. He's won 6 of those. But while we've got it on screen, number 2 there, our thoughts go out to John Grant Jr. A bit of surgery yesterday. We know he's in the hospital, probably watching this game here. So, John, get well soon. We had some best wishes for you on Twitter yesterday, but get well soon. 2nd overall in Mann Cup standings.
So we've got a player and a coach in this series that are on that list there, and that's very exciting here for us at JVI Sports Network. I'm sure it's exciting for you guys here at home to watch us talk about that. Now let's talk a little bit about the press conference that happened yesterday on Thursday as the players came to the arena and got used to the the turf.
Yeah, it's having all-year turf here at the ILA is something that some players aren't necessarily used to, but they did have the press conference yesterday, welcomed everybody in, pretty good. Some of the community leaders from here in Six Nations, of course, the general managers from both teams had a chance to speak, and Lance Andre really said that the Maple Ridge Burrards had their back against the wall from day one, and of course he referenced everything that was going on out west. If you don't know the story, you're going to have to look it up. We won't talk any more about that because it's over and done with. And then Rich Kilgore, the head coach, he stood at the podium and said, we respect our opponents, but we fear nobody. So he kind of laid the gauntlet down here in the series between Six Nations and Maple Ridge, and it's going to be a good one, like we've been saying all along. But from Richie Kilgore's comments yesterday, he's definitely ready to go.
Well, when you walk around the arena here and the inside of the bowl and just on the outside where the rooms are, you see all the memorabilia from all the other tournaments and finals and series and trophies that they've won. There's definitely a sense of pride here at Six Nations Arena. It's what can I say? It feels like a home for them, and I feel like Maple Ridge can definitely respect that.
Yeah, and Ben McIntosh said it. He's heard a lot about this building, and he's really excited to get playing, and that'll happen in just a few short minutes' time.
Perfect. Well, you know what? We've got game 1 of the 7-game exciting series of the 2016 Mann Cup Final. Stick with us here on JVI Sports Network. Steven and Pat, they've got the call later on. We're going to give it to a commercial break, but stay with us. Like we said, we got all the action coming up next, guys. Welcome back to the 2016 Mann Cup Final Series, a best-of-7 series here in Hagersville, Ontario. Sam McDade alongside Matt Carrick. You're watching JVI Sports Network, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Matt, what's changed since we last spoke?
Not a whole lot, except the full floor has cleared. Teams have gone to their dressing rooms for final instructions. And if anybody saw the Twitter video from the Six Nation Chiefs, if Rich Kilgore has anything to say, that's going to be one fired up final speech. But yeah, we've been looking forward to this for a long time, and we're about 4 minutes away from game time here.
Well, you know what? We talked about the teams quite a bit. Let's talk about a few interesting players to watch. Let's start off with Ben McIntosh. Matt, what's your insight on Ben?
Well, he was the 2015 NLL Rookie of the Year, winning back-to-back championships with the Saskatchewan and Edmonton Rush as a change series, but a huge force for this Maple Ridge team.
He definitely was very successful in playoffs with 20 goals, 23 assists, was the lead scorer on his team. Let's talk now a little bit about Dane Smith, that is representing Six Nations here.
Yeah, he very well could be in a few weeks' time named the NLL MVP with the record-setting performance, NLL record for points in a season, and Bandits record for goals. Interesting with our players to watch here, Ben McIntosh in the 2014 playoffs, he was second in scoring in that league too. Dane Smith of the Six Nation Chiefs when he was out playing for Victoria. So two guys who know a lot about each other going head-to-head here this week.
Well, very interesting. You guys definitely have to keep your eyes. You saw their faces. Keep your eyes on them throughout the entire game. Let's send it up to Steven Stamp, Pat Gregoire for the call in tonight's Game 1 of the 2016 Mann Cup. Guys?
Thanks, Sam and Matthew. It's certainly going to be an exciting game. We can't wait to get going. We're going to talk about the starting goalies, and Dane Smith, like they said, was the maybe the MVP of the NLL. He set the goal and points records. Well, you look at the starting goaltenders, and Dylan Ward is one of the finalists for the NLL Goalie of the Year, and he was the MVP on one side of the playoffs. On the other side of the country, it was Frankie Chiliano, and with very good reason. You see the numbers that Chiliano has put up, and those are awfully good. He is absolutely a game changer for this franchise.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he was lights out throughout the entire, but during that playoff run that they had, he really stepped up his game, and you could say the exact same thing for Dylan Ward. You talk about Cody Jamieson being the X factor, you could put him right beside him, because Dylan Ward, we saw a couple of games where he just did not let Peterborough get into the games at all. He was just stopping everything. And the big thing we've talked about so many times is how relaxed and how calm he is. Yeah. And it's just, he makes it so effortlessly.
And the incredible thing is Ward's numbers in the playoffs weren't actually quite as good as his regular season numbers. This guy's been on a roll for months. We'll be back. I'm Steven Stamp with Pat Gregoire. It's JVI Sports Network's presentation of the Mann Cup. We'll be right back with the opening faceoff.
Born of the Huron and of the Mohawk, of the wilderness, of strength and endurance. This is Canada. This is lacrosse. Our country, our sport. Canada's national summer sport, lacrosse.
2017 Toronto Rock season tickets are on sale now. Lock in your seat today for as low as $195 and you won't miss a moment of the action. For more information, visit torontorock.com.
JVI Sports Network's coverage of the 2016 Mann Cup is brought to you in part by the following. The ILA Sports Store. The ILA Sports Store takes pride in providing a wide range of merchandise from top suppliers. Yes, in lacrosse, but also hockey and baseball. From suiting up players of all ages to customizing your team, the IOA Sports Store focuses on providing quality customer service to meet your individual needs. Browse their website or connect with them on social media to see why they are the shop of champions. ProFit Health Club. Achieve your fitness goals with our state-of-the-art facilities, programs, products, and services. Become a member and realize your potential when supported by our helpful staff and energized community. ProFit Health Club is proud to serve the Caledonia, Hagersville, Hamilton, and Ohsweken areas. Visit them online or social media for more information or to sign up for one of their fantastic programs. The Caledonia ProFit Corvair. The three-time defending Sutherland Cup champions begin their 2016 and 17 season this weekend. For season-long updates of the Junior B team, follow them at ProFit Corvairs on Twitter, at Caledonia Corvairs on Instagram, or visit the team's website. Six Nations Minor Lacrosse are a proud supporter of the Six Nations Chiefs. Six Nations Minor Lacrosse has over 500 registered members and players, coaches, and trainers. The success of our organization is contributed to the many volunteers and our community. We are proud to support, encourage, and promote our game of lacrosse, Six Nations Minor Lacrosse.
Welcome, lacrosse friends, to the 2016 Mann Cup. I'm Steven Stamp, joined by Pat Gregoire. Thanks to Sam McDade and Matthew Carrick, who are downstairs and in their funky little studio. Pretty cool place. The teams are being announced. You can hear a pin drop as the visitors get announced, of course. The Maple Ridge Burrards, lots of love for them back home in BC, but here, of course, in Six Nations, it's all about the Chiefs for the most part, and they are being introduced, and in they come.
And I mean, just listening to all the names on this roster, very, very impressive roster that they do have. We saw them come back, a historic comeback, including that Game 7 win in Peterborough. You talk about momentum, you got to side with the Six Nations Chiefs. They've got all the momentum, but you look down at that Burrards team, the Burrard Street Bullies as they have been called. This is a team that you don't want to sleep on. A ton of depth, really young, fast team, a tough team. So they're not gonna, just lay over easy. They want this one badly.
Yeah, you talk to most people around here, and the feeling seems to be the Chiefs are heavy favorites. They're going to win this series pretty easily, and yet, the Burrards are coming to play. And it's always a little funny when people kind of anoint beforehand. This is what's going to happen, and I'll tell you, there are some teams out west that maybe thought the same thing. I mean, you look at Victoria having won the last few championships, and I think a lot of people thought they'd do it again. But this Maple Ridge team brings something. They don't have a lot of big names. I talked to Coach Rob Williams, and he said, you know what, some of these guys are waiting to be discovered too. And we've got some young players, some guys who, for whatever reasons, haven't been playing in the NLL for work or opportunity or geography or whatever. But these guys can play lacrosse, and I'll tell you, the Chiefs know it. The Chiefs are not taking this team lightly, and I think that's very smart on their part, because I think we're going to see a very good series.
The thing with these two teams is they both have faced a fair share amount of adversity.
Yeah.
You look at the Six Nations team, I've already talked about it a couple times, that 0-3 deficit that they came back from. But the Burrards, since the start of the playoffs, they've been deemed as the underdog, and once again, they're deemed as the underdog, and I don't think they're afraid of that role. In fact, I think they really want to embrace that role.
They do. I think they embrace it. I don't think they'd like it if we painted them as, as favorites, but anytime that you do come to the other side of the country. Now, the last decade's been a bit different because Ontario won a lot of championships out west. Before that, it was pretty much back and forth, and it has been since 1986 since BC Team won in Ontario. We're going to enjoy the smoke dancers, and we'll be back. Big crew of smoke dancers tonight.
Yeah.
It's kind of grown through the playoffs, and a lot of fun having them here. And I'll tell you, this game close to starting, and the first game, we mentioned sometimes, oh, we're going to go to the national anthem.
Hold that thought.
Hello, lacrosse friends. Welcome back to the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena. Who's going to win? Well, 77% of you think the Six Nations Chiefs, and that may be reasonable for game one because, like we said, road teams can have a tough time in the first game. They're still adjusting, but we have seen it happen. So I wouldn't count the Burrards out, and I know the Chiefs aren't counting them out.
Yeah, and I mean, as Sam told us pregame, the trip here was not too friendly for the Maple Ridge Burrards. So not the smoothest of sailing. There you go.
Everything's downhill.
Hey,
Everything's
survive if you can survive that plane ride, game one shouldn't be too hard for you.
Should be a great game. We're anticipating some tough defensive lacrosse, especially with these two goaltenders. And talk about the depth of the Six Nations Chiefs in goal. Dylan Ward's a young goalie. They've got Doug Jamieson backing him up. Warren Hill has been backing him up most of the year. Those two, Jamieson and Hill, will probably both go in the first round or in the first two rounds for sure of this year's National Lacrosse League draft. Do let us know where you're watching. Tweet us your photos. It's so much fun to see everyone where you're watching, how you've got it hooked up, if it's straight on the computer or up on the screen. Hook it up to your TV. It's great. Let us know who you think should be the Thompson Brothers 3 stars of the game. Our thanks to the Thompson Brothers Lacrosse Group for sponsoring 3 stars throughout this series. At JVI Video is the Twitter handle. Tell us who you think it should be, and we will take it into consideration as we're choosing them towards the end of the game.
We sure will. We've always had some good, good suggestions, and when the game's so so high caliber, it's usually, so hard because there's so many options. And I think that's going to be the same thing from both sides. And you mentioned the defense, a few moments ago. You have the Burrards, who are a very high tempo, tough team, and then you have Six Nations, who's still very high tempo, very, very tough, but that depth. Everyone talks about the offense, the sharpshooters that this Six Nations team has, but boy, oh boy, that defense led by Dylan Ward. You have Billy D. Smith on the back end as well. The list goes on and on. I could sit here all day, Sid Smith. I'm not going to because we don't have enough time. We're close to dropping the ball here, but boy, watching that series, watching the defense play, credit to Peterborough as well. They had a solid defense as well, but boy, Six Nations blocking so many shots, and I think they were a real unsung hero group for this Six Nations team.
Oh, they're so good. And the thing about the Six Nations defense is that they really didn't find their stride until well into the season. They were missing Billy D. Smith, one of their leaders, almost all year. Sid Smith out for much of the year as well. And then they brought Paul Dawson and Ethan O'Connor into the trade deadline. And it took them a while to really find their stride. They got better and better through, not just through the season, through the playoffs, but through the MSL finals, and expect them to be on top of their form tonight. The Burrards, it just feels like we're on top of things a little earlier. They have, they didn't make so many changes. They pretty much had their group. They did have guys off. I mean, they have a handful of guys who played for the Saskatchewan Rush, so we're in the NLL Championship Series, so they were late getting in. So they had their own challenges, but it seems like the Burrards sort of found their way a bit earlier and then, had to deal with the bond put on them and all the adversity.
Yeah.
Anyway, here we go. We are lining up, and it will be Zach Porter, one of a few Burrards who take faceoffs, against Jeremy Thompson, who takes the majority for the Chiefs. And you're going to have a possession call right away. And Ian Garrison, one of the refs tonight, was telling me it's the CLA is applying its standard for faceoffs. It's very different than what we're used to. You have to draw immediately and expect a lot of fouls like that. And almost a nice pickup there by Daniel Amesbury on the rebound, but instead the Chiefs get it and run down the floor. And we will see Ryan Manesh with the ball as they will test the Maple Ridge Burrards defense. Pass off, a low pass, but it's picked up by Randy Stotts. He's going to take a shot, an early one, stopped by Ciliano, but it gets away from him. A nice little scoop up, and here comes Kevin Porter running the floor. Zach Porter running the floor. He's going to slow it down now, pass it off to Matt McLeod, and Porter will head off to get the offense out.
Busy start for Zach Porter, winning the faceoff, going on D, running the ball up. He's a big part of this fast, high-tempo defense.
Mallory DeLowan over to the far side. There's a pass back. Some heavy defensive pressure, but a nice catch by Mallory. He's going to take a shot, stopped by Dylan Ward. We saw a lot of shots going to that big stick in the Peterborough series for Six Nations, and the Burrards are going to want to get away from that. Mike Mallory, a great season, led the team in scoring the regular season. Teddy Jenner thought I was a little dismissive of him in my preview. Didn't mean to say he was not a key player. I just said they've got quality depth, but certainly not just a depth guy. He is a key guy for this team. Six Nations on the offense. Keogh gives it up, passes over, and Dan Dawson takes that shot. It's going to go off the boards, bounces out to Dane Smith. They've only got 2 on the shot clock. Barker all over him, and Smith will just drop it. And there was Aaron Davis, the captain of the Burrards, to pick up the ball.
A couple good defensive stands from both these teams. We have already seen how athletic this Burrards defense really is.
Little cut to the net by McIntosh. Now he spins up over the top, goes back across to the far side to Taylor. Taylor's shot is high and wide. McIntosh gets it. They've got time to shoot. Mallory off, and a nice little bouncer by Jarrett Davis. And it was interesting watching the anthems in that. Jarrett Davis was not on the line with the 17 other runners for Maple Ridge. And I thought, surely Jarrett Davis is playing. And he is. He came out a bit late. Ryan Manesh with the ball. There's Austin Stotts that he's working by. We saw Briar Jonathan in the warm-up. He is playing tonight, taking Cody Jameson's place. There's a shot by Randy Stotts. Misses the net and goes up into the roof. So it is Maple Ridge ball. Here they come. They are pushing the pace as they are wont to do. Porter looking for someone off the bench. Big whack by Leo Sturos, another tremendous rookie for these Chiefs. Big pick. And we're going to have a bit too big of a pick there on Paul Dawson. And the Chiefs will get the ball back the other way.
Like seeing number 55, Storos, back in the lineup. He missed the last few games. Oh,
Dane
almost
Smith
have a break
cutting
there.
to the net. Picked up there by Matt McLeod.
Always got to have your head on a swivel when Dane Smith has the ball.
Oh, he's so fast and quick. I mean, the two together. There's a shot by Keogh, goes wide. They've got 10 seconds left on the shot clock as he gets it back, and Dan Dawson on the far side is going to hang on to it. Nice little move. He'll shoot. That one's blocked, though. Good job by McLeod. McLeod, one of very few Ontario guys out there. That's one of the nice things when you see this Burrard's team is that they're a homegrown club. Not, I mean, nothing against guys going out west. I did it for rowing. I get it. You go out to the other side of the country and check things out. There's a pass on top of the goal. Ben McIntosh from Jarrett Davis. McIntosh talked about how his teammates get him the ball when he's open. He's very good at getting open and finishing.
Yeah, McIntosh, putting the money where his mouth is, talking about how he's a great player without the ball and doing exactly that. And we'll see on the replay right here. It's a beautiful dish coming up right here, just finding McIntosh. And good job on McIntosh keeping his feet out of that crease there as well. It's a beautiful cut, just and a better pass from Davis. And that's the type of goals that we said, in that last series, in the major series finals, that, you got to get out in front of Ward because he sees all those outside shots.
Yeah, you do have to get close, and they do it. A nice pass from Davis, threading it through as Brody Merrill was running with McIntosh. And you saw the slight little push by McIntosh. Gets the stick on Merrill just to create enough separation. There's a similar play at the other end, but Randy Stotts is in the crease, and he's going to be tugging away at a Maple Ridge defender.
I believe that
was actually Colton Porter.
Yeah. I was going to say.
I find the sleeve numbers a little hard to see, so we might be a little slow occasionally. Mike Mallory passes it off. Davis surveying the floor. They've got 10 to shoot. Lowen gives it off, and Taylor's going to make a pass to the cutting Lowen, who got a shot off, but it was almost just from the momentum of three guys hitting him all at once. You can't say Riley Lowen is afraid to go to the middle, that's for sure. Here comes Ron Harris. Pass to the cutting Dane Smith, who gives it off immediately to Dawson. What a shot. Patience by Dan Dawson. Fires the shot around Creighton Reed and beats Frankie Chiliano to tie it up.
Dan Dawson, I have to say, was probably one of the most underappreciated by certain people that didn't really talk about him that much. But boy, he was considered to be one of the MVPs in my books, and he's showing why. More of a setting up a lot of plays in the last few games when they did win, coming on that 3-back. But you see him, you give him that much time and space, he's going to bury it.
Chiefs get the face-off. Jeremy Thompson goes down to the other end. Thompson, of course, facing several of his NLL teammates with whom he won the Champions Cup.
Yep.
There's Ben McIntosh, Jared Davis, Riley Lowen, Dan Taylor. There's plenty of them.
Yeah. They've got winning pedigree at the NLL level with those young guys that have been with the Rush organization.
And some of those guys we've talked about, they are playing sort of depth roles with Saskatchewan, but showing they can step up and really help lead a club. I mean, Riley Lowen, Dan Taylor's been outstanding for them in the playoffs. There's a quick pass across. McIntosh shot saved by Dylan Ward. Sid Smith, the captain of the Chiefs, scoops it up, tries to pass it out, and nice job by Sturos to adjust to the ball off the boards. Brock will give it up to Brody Merrill, and they'll get the offense out with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Austin Stotts wearing 77. He was wearing 18 early in the playoffs, but now, because Roger Weiss has played some, and Weiss is 18, Austin Stotts, the 18-year-old, gives it up. Burrard's doing a good job keeping them outside, but then Dawson cuts through. A nice little play by Creighton Reed to just get his stick on the handle, the shaft of Dawson's stick, so he couldn't catch that pass, or he was wide open in front again.
That's what the Six Nations teams are really going to have to do with this overextending defense that the Burrards have. Spread them out and try your best to beat them inside.
Davis tries to throw it back out, but it gets away. Thompson looked like he threw the ball away, but it's going to bounce to Paul Dawson. And a nice hustle by Porter coming off the bench to pick up Ethan O'Connor in transition, and the Burrards will go back the other way. We're 6 minutes in, 1 goal apiece, and it has been pretty fast-paced lacrosse, and the Burrards pushing it down into the offensive zone. Lowen kind of backs his way in on Brock. Brock doing a good job keeping him outside. Nice little pick there. McIntosh's shot handled by Ward. Lyndon Natilla getting in there and banging around and almost opened up a nice scoring opportunity there. There comes Dane Smith, who can create scoring opportunities all on his own. but also very good working with his teammates. There's Randy Stotts. Cutting Benesh. Nice strip. It wasn't clear that Benesh ever really caught it, as he had Connor, I think it was Connor Goodwin right on him. No, that was Zach Porter. Zach Porter, of course, jumping on him there.
Zach Porter being all over the floor, really like his game. Small in stature, but not small in heart, that's for sure.
So quick. Jeremy Thompson takes a big hit from Amesbury. Still gets the pass off, though. It's caught by O'Connor. Brody Merrill, it's behind him. Dan Dawson's down the floor. Was hoping to get a pass. Now he's going to look to Austin Stotts to move it to him. They're going to go back to Randy Stotts first, and Dawson now gets it. Picked up by McLeod. Dawson with the one-hand shovel pass over to Stotts. DJ Sari all over him. Stotts gets to the net, scores! What a move by the elusive Austin Stotts. We've talked about how much he likes to score. You can see it with that goal jump. A nice celly after the goal, and what a great move. It looked like DJ Sari was right on him, and Stotts just slips by.
Every time he does something insane like this, I have to take a second and remember this kid is only 18. What a disgusting fake. Pulls it inside. Beautiful body control, and the finish is better. And I'd even say the celly is even better. This guy loves to score.
2-1 Chiefs. 7.5 minutes into the game. I'm Steven Stamp with Pat Gregoire, bringing you the 2016 Mann Cup here on JVI Sports Network. Jarrett Davis going low around Sturos, shovels it back, but McIntosh misses it. He's in a foot race with it, and that will be won by Sid Smith. Sid Smith, who lost some weight, got really focused on fitness. He's always been a very strong, very smart defender, but he has noticeably quickened up this year. There's a nice jab step by Dane Smith, but he misses. Shot goes all the way back. Stephen Keogh grabs it. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Randy Stotts trying to get by Creighton Reed. Shoots. That one misses the net. Shot clock will expire. Mike McNamara will just let it roll on by. Connor Goodwin's going to go and pick it up. Dylan Ward helps him out a little bit. Connor Goodwin, who had a tremendous field lacrosse career with the McGill Redmen, winning the Gateway Cups. I mean, he was a great player for them.
So athletic, great shot on the run. He was a real treat to watch him play in Kufla.
Pass across to McIntosh, doesn't quite connect. Matilla just missing it. Merrill trying to pick it up. There's still 11 on the shot clock as Mallory's fighting for it, but it eventually rolls to Dylan Ward. Mallory in there battling. Mike McNamara coming back off knee surgery, and he has really gotten back into his game.
This Six Nations team is one that, once they get rolling, they're really hard to stop. So the Burrards are going to really want to get a couple of good defensive stands here to stop the bleeding.
Smith, hard pass across to Dawson, maybe just a little too hard as he spun. Austin Stotts, there's another move going to the net. What a save though by Chiliano as Stotts, the one-hand dangle. Nice hustle by Briar Jonathan. He knocks it away from Porter, but nobody there to help him out, so Colton Porter's just going to pick it up, hand it off to Jarrett Davis, and here come the Burrards looking to even things up. They're always pushing the pace up the floor, want to get you off your tempo. That one's picked off though, and not a great pass. Vaughn Harris looks around, he's got time. Saved by Chiliano, just got it. The big man is pretty agile for his size, and he showed it there.
Oh yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I'm very impressed with how he's moving early on right now. You talk about how big he is, but boy, those feet are quick.
Jarrett Davis gets a pick from Ben McIntosh. There's the roll. Gets it through, but again, it was a really tight pass in confined quarters, and a nice defensive job to just get a stick in the face, basically, of McIntosh to make it hard for him to see to catch the ball.
Now, that's what they're going to have to do, because there's going to be a heavy dosage of those two guys on that side of the floor.
Yeah, and the Burrards are going to the middle. Mm-hmm. Randy Stotts. Big pick by the hip of Dane Smith. Nice two-man play by the Burrards, but Brody Merrill slides in to get a shot. Boy, they had the first two covered well in the two-man game, but then Merrill just came out of nowhere for that opening.
Yeah, that's just perfect ball movement and good vision by Dane Smith to recognize he did have a lane to the net, but he saw Brody Merrill wide open, naked in the middle. But it was a good slide by the Burrards to recover and, knock that shot off its kilter.
There's McIntosh, nice sidearm shot. Ward just got enough of it. The quick release changing the plane after the pass from Davis. Here comes Austin Stotts with a head of steam. He steps back. Looked like he wanted to shoot. Porter knocks him flat. Stotts just pops back up and gives it to Briar Jonathan. Dawson tries to cut in Keogh. Boy, the two-man game. Oh, we're going to have a holding call. I was just going to say the Burrards are doing a great job on the two-man game, and they get called for a penalty. But it looks like Aaron Davis will head off. The Chiefs really trying to exploit the pick-and-roll game, and so far the Burrards have generally been pretty good. Again, it was Merrill, and they're getting that third cutter. That's really been a factor for the Chiefs.
Yeah, it has, and it's like I said, it's the Burrards. They like to play really spread out, force, get out on hands, really disrupt that movement. And the way you beat that is with that pick and roll on the two-man game. And if they can get those guys cutting in on the inside, on the backside, like you said, get that third cutter in there, they're going to really have a hard time. But that is really tough to do, to have that perfect ball movement.
Dan Dawson up top to Smith, who's playing the top of the power play. He's going to let one rip. It bounces off of Porter. Benesh is going to track it down with about 12 seconds on the shot clock. Dawson's down on one crease, and Austin Stotts setting up on the other. Randy Stotts shoots, fires it home. Power play goal, it's 3-1 Chiefs.
Randy Stotts reminding us that, hey, he's one heck of a ball player as well. It's not just about his brother, Austin. I thought Randy was a huge part in this, especially those last two games. One right here, he scored that first goal in Game 6 in the Major Series Final, and he had a big game in Game 7 as well. And he's got that great sidearm shot, from the side there. If you saw it there, just finding a perfect spot right behind Chiliano. And if you get both those Stotts rolling with the rest of this Chiefs team, boy, they are a very tough offensive team to stop.
They are. I mean, it's the Mann Cup. You've got two very potent offenses.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is the depth. You can't focus on any one player. Bit of a break for the Burrards, of course, having Cody Jamieson out. But
when you have that much depth, I mean, it's really not that much of a break. Sure, yeah, you don't have 88 to go up against, but you still have some good ball players to cover.
Dawson tries to hit a cutting Briar Jonathan, but he is covered impeccably there.
Porter
Owen Barker was on him. Go ahead.
Porter again moving the ball up the floor. I mean, you can't knock anything about this guy's game. One of the smaller guys on the floor, but easily one of the hardest working.
Yeah, Zach Porter just flying around the floor. Lowen hit the backdoor pass, but McIntosh just misses. McIntosh is one of the best at those. We see it in Saskatchewan all the time, and they almost connect on one here. Sid Smith takes that pass after the Von Harris pickoff, and Austin Stotts will carry it down the floor.
Maple Ridge is getting their chances. I mean, you could easily argue McIntosh could have a hat trick easily right now.
Dane Smith spins back around, goes up top to Dawson. That pass doesn't connect, but it's going to roll right over to Austin Stotts. He throws the little fake, shoots, scores, gets Chiliano going to his right, and pulls it back to his left. After the ankle-breaking cut, sends DJ Sari to the turf, and Stotts just pulls it back, and boy, that kid's a sniper.
It's ridiculous, and the one thing that is quite wild is that he's going for his fourth straight national title.
Yeah.
He won a Founders in 2013, Minto in 14 and 15, now a Mann Cup, and he's only 18 years old. It's actually ridiculous, but that goal there is just showing you how good of a lacrosse player he is at such a young age.
And that's the thing. When he won that Founders, he was only 15. He was 2 years before junior age when he won the Junior B championship. Then he won a Minto as a midget age player. Still, he really wasn't a junior age player. And then another Minto playing a huge role last year. And this year he was pretty bummed that he didn't get it. He wants a championship. There's a shot to the chest pad by Mallory. He'd like that one a little bit more precisely placed. And here comes Dawson up the floor with the outlet pass. Lots of Burrards coming out. They do a good job getting the O off the floor. You can see as the shot's taken, a couple of guys head off so they can get the D out. Want to stop transition. There's Roger Weiss trying to make the pass through. Faked it. Now he's just going to let it rip. Rocket Roger Weiss with the shot, and it misses and goes up into the rafters.
That's a good bounce back shift by this Burrards team. Really getting back to their basics, how they play, still getting aggressive, but taking away those shots and forcing the Six Nations shooters to take those chances from the outside.
Zach Porter stays out for an offensive shift. Now they see they've got a penalty coming. They'll get the extra attacker, and he runs off and runs in to his teammate, Connor Goodwin, who's going to go in and set a pick. Mallory accepts the pass, gives it straight back, and the shot by Dan Taylor doesn't get through. We're going to have an illegal cross-check call on the Chiefs, and the Burrards will go to their first power play of the 2016 Mann Cup.
The Burrards' power play kind of started a little bit slow in the finals, but they started to, find things a little later. They don't really like to do too much crazy. They don't do too much crazy ball movement. It's just, we're going to see a replay here of the last goal. Austin Stotts bull rushing, pulling away.
And did it touch the helmet there?
It might have went off Porter.
It's hard to say. Oh, yeah, you know what? It did.
It did. You could see it just raise up at the last second.
That explains in part why Frankie Chiliano was still going off to his right. There's a backdoor shot saved by Ward. He is so quick post to post. We've talked about that, how he's very quick with the feet post to post. Comes across well and then follows up, and Lowen couldn't quite get it by him. Sid Smith will rip the length of the floor. What a catch by Stephen Keel. And now you have to try and get it away from him, which is almost impossible, but he does give it up to Dane Smith, who has a lane to the net to Benesh. Saved by Chiliano. And the Burrards get it back. You have 10 seconds in CLA lacrosse to get the ball across the restraining line at the far end of the floor when you are killing a penalty, and then you have to stay inside that line, and then you don't have a 30-second clock going. Mallory's up top as the Burrards set back up in the power play. Be a big goal for them as they're down 4-1. If they could get one here. Ward, it was almost knocked out of his stick by McIntosh. He kind of reached underneath and tapped it. But here comes Brody Merrill. Oh, big save by Chiliano. A shorthander would have been tough on the Burrards.
Big stop there. One thing that Six Nations, what they do on their penalty kills, they really push up high, and it does sometimes leave their post exposed to with Ward all by himself. So look to see the Burrards really try to feed the crease with McIntosh and Lowen, which we've seen twice already.
Jarrett Davis is going to feed it up to the top. Mallory takes the shot, goes for the bouncer, hits well in front of the net.
Reminder, these power plays are brought to you by the Toronto Rock Elite League.
And the Chiefs have pulled Dylan Ward to get a fifth player out there, so they are even strength. Dan Dawson will stay outside the restraining line, so the 30-second clock will not run. If he steps inside the line, it will. Zach Porter. And then Austin Stotts just knocks down Zach Porter. Porter kept faking that he was going to cross-check Stotts, and Stotts went through and did it and gave up the ball.
I can already tell the Porters probably aren't going to be too liked by this Six Nations team by the end of the series.
I don't think they're liked by a lot of people they play, which is a pretty good sign for a defensive player. Ward takes one high right off the chin guard. It's scooped up, and here comes Von Harris. He's got Dan Dawson with him. Harris, nice little move. He shoots, saved by Chiliano. Again, you think of Frankie Chiliano as the big guy and maybe expect him to be a belt blocker, but he can move.
That's a very impressive save. A beautiful move by Von Harris to get around the defender, but an even better stop by Chiliano. He's made some really big saves in the last 4 or 5 minutes to keep this game at 4-1.
Well, penalty coming, high sticking. The Birds players running into the offensive zone.
And those are the type of penalties that Ian Garrison's going to call. Anything behind the play that has nothing to do with the actual play, the game of lacrosse, the stuff that's chippy behind the play, he's going to call. It's the extracurricular stuff that he always calls. Whenever it's within the game, he's usually pretty reasonable, 5-on-5. But like I said, it's the stuff behind the play that he's going to call almost every single time.
Power play again for the Chiefs. Dawson up to Smith, who once again is at the top. Same setup for the Chiefs. There's a fake shot in the pass over. Dane Smith will rip it, saved by Chiliano. Boy, we talked about the Burrards getting chances earlier. Now the Chiefs with a bunch of them. And if it wasn't for Chiliano, it could be 6 or 7-1 here. Dane Smith behind the back. Dawson shoots. Save. No, it goes wide. Comes back out to Austin Stotts, but it gets away from him. Chiliano looking up the floor for the breakout pass. Lowen running down. He's on a man with him. Cuts. What a move. Gets away from him. Porter. Oh, a great save. Nice follow-up play there by Colton Porter, but Dylan Ward is equal to the task.
There's that athleticism that we see from Dylan Ward.
Banesh with the shot, scores! As the Rock Elite League power play goal by Ryan Banesh, as he is so good at finding that far post. When he gets down low, he likes to shoot near post, but when he's out a bit, he is a far post guy. Here's the great save by Ward to start.
The rebound comes off, and Porter doing a great job shooting around the defender, but can't hit it. And here's that shot that you talk about. Just winds up and goes far piping. Does go off Chiliano's leg. Chiliano immediately leaves his cage. Rattled about it. I mean, the way he's been playing, he shouldn't be disappointed in himself, but obviously as a goaltender, you know, perfection is what you want. And maybe that's a save that he's going to want back, but it was a great shot by Banesh. And like you said, he always finds that just that little tiny area that he can put the ball in the net.
Yeah, he's such a good shooter from any angle. He goes down about 3/4 on that one. I mean, Chiliano's given up 5 goals. That's, in a lot of cases, a full game's worth for him, the way he's been playing. So he's obviously going to be disappointed. But, I mean, it's been some great shots by the Six Nations Chiefs. And Ward has just gotten enough at the other end to keep the Burrards down to 1 goal. Lowen, toe drag, passes it across, shot. Taylor can't find the net. Nice play by Lowen to get it off, but Taylor's shot, again, right in the chest pad of Ward. Here comes Brody Merrill. Pass across to Dawson. Fakes the pass in and goes over to Roger Weiss instead. Briar Jonathan gives it off to Brody Merrill. Nice movement around the outside, but nothing inside so far for the Chiefs. Now they're working in. Dawson gets it. Another big save, and Dawson is checked into Chiliano. There's going to be a penalty to the Burrards defender.
That could have been bad for Chiliano there. It looked like Dawson might have almost landed on his knee, but thankfully he's okay. Could have been very bad.
Yeah, you got to be happy that Chiliano's not hurt.
We'll see the replay right here.
You see Dawson go in. And it's two guys checking him. That's the thing. It's the one from the side.
And then the follow through there. Yeah. That's the one that really gets him to fall over. Because as you know, I mean, Dawson's a tough player to knock over. He's got that big, huge body. But it's going to result in a power play, an elite league Toronto Rock power play.
And Creighton Reed getting the 4-minute penalty. I actually thought it was Dane Michaud that knocked him in. Dane Smith takes the shot, and boy, 5-1, and you got 4 minutes on the power play. The Chiefs could really pull away on this one. They did it to the Peterborough Lakers a couple of times, and now they're trying to do it to the Maple Ridge Burrards, and Ryan Banesh will slow things down and wait for his teammates. Was that just me, or was it Dylan Michaud that...
to be totally honest,
Dwayne Michaud.
I thought it was going to be Michaud, but I'm sure the refs have a better view than us up here. Benefit of the doubt.
Randy Stotts with the shot. Chiliano makes that save. Fresh 30 for the Chiefs. You see they're trying to clog the middle up. Dane Smith gets a shot off anyway, and Chiliano smothers that one, no problem. Smith's going to run back on Colton Porter. That pass is high and it drifted into the Burrards bench. It's kind of one of those periods where it rains and then it pours for the Maple Ridge Burrards, because that's not the type of mistake you're used to seeing them make, but just a little bit of pressure, and here come the Chiefs with 44 seconds left in the period. Dan Dawson looks to Austin Stotts. He throws it back. That one almost got away, but Dan Dawson's 6'6" and was able to reach up and grab it. Randy Stotts looking for a lane, gets it, just misses, hits the ceiling. 29 seconds. The Burrards can kill the rest of this period. Kevin Reed has the ball. Interesting, Reed standing apart from his teammates during the pregame ceremonies anthem and just staring at the Six Nations Chiefs. He is a gritty player, the kind of guy that you love to have as a teammate and hate to have as an opponent.
There's a few of those on each of these teams, that's for sure.
Chiliano goes to the net with 10 seconds left in the period. And now he's going to go back. They didn't even send anyone on the floor. McIntosh, quick shot by Taylor. It's going to go wide and up into the mesh. 1 second left, so Randy Stotts David Brock won't even bother shooting it. It is 5-1 after 20 minutes of play on JBI Sports Network's presentation of the Mann Cup.
Toronto Rock season tickets are on sale for the 2017 season. Enjoy great benefits like the ticket exchange program, 2 bring a friend vouchers for any regular season game, and your ticket to the first Rock home playoff game is included. Tickets start as low as $195. For more information, call 416-596-3075 or visit torontorock.com.
And Sam McDade will be down on the floor grabbing a player. I believe she is going to have Mike Mallory tonight. We'll see what Mike Mallory is thinking after a pretty tough start to this Mann Cup 2016 for the Maple Ridge Burrards. They are making their way to center floor. And, great of, Mike Mallory showing some class, coming out even after a tough period to join Sam McDade. And we're going to go down to Sam at mid-floor.
Stephen and Pat, I'm alongside Mike Mallory. Mike, let's start off with the first 20 minutes of the 7-game series. I know it's not in favor of Maple Ridge, but let's talk about how it felt out there for you guys getting that first 20 minutes under your belt.
Yeah, it was a bit of a slow start. Not really how we planned, but hopefully we can regroup here. We're kind of getting used to the heat here and the humidity, and it's pretty quiet out here for us. So hopefully we can get some energy and get back in this game here.
Let's talk about the score now. A bit of a touchy subject after 20 minutes. It's 5-1. What's got to happen, though? What does Maple Ridge have to pull out? What do you guys got up your sleeve? You got 40 minutes left to win this game.
Yeah, I think our offense, we're staying a little perimeter right now. We got to try to wear their defense down and get inside. And, they got a good goalie in net. So when we are taking those outside shots, we got to pick our corners and start sinking them.
Dylan Ward playing really well. He has a lot of experience with championships and winning them. Also a teammate in the NLL, Colorado Mammoth. What's the secret to really, playing against him and putting one behind him?
He's a great goalie. You got to keep him guessing, keep him moving side to side, and keep him guessing because he's a real good goalie. He plays his angles well. So as long as we get inside, keep him moving side to side, I think that's our best way to get success on him.
Well, you know what, Mike? They're about to start a game here. I don't want to step on it. Best of luck in the next 40 minutes of play. I'll let you catch up with the team. Thanks so much for doing this interview. Let's send it to break, guys. We got 40 minutes left of the game 1 in the Mann Cup Finals. Let's send it to break. Stay with us. The Maple Ridge are going to be on the penalty kill for the next 2 minutes of play, guys.
Of the wilderness, of strength and endurance. This is Canada. This is lacrosse. Our country, our sport. Canada's national summer sport, lacrosse.
2017 Toronto Rock season tickets are on sale now. Lock in your seat today for as low as $195 and you won't miss a moment of the action. For more information, visit torontorock.com.
There's your stick.
Set. Go!
JVI Sports Network's coverage of the 2016 Mann Cup is brought to you in part by the following. The ILA Sports Store. The ILA Sports Store takes pride in providing a wide range of merchandise from top suppliers. Yes, in lacrosse, but also hockey and baseball. From suiting up players of all ages to customizing your team, the ILA Sports Store focuses on providing quality customer service to meet your individual needs. Browse their website or connect with them on social media to see why they are the shop of champions. ProFit Health Club. Achieve your fitness goals with our state-of-the-art facilities, programs, products, and services. Become a member and realize your potential when supported by our helpful staff and energized community. The ProFit Health Club is proud to serve the Caledonia, Hagersville, Hamilton, and Oswego areas. Visit them online or social media for more information or to sign up for one of their fantastic programs. The Caledonia ProFit Corvairs. The 3-time defending Sutherland Cup champions begin their 2016 and 17 season this weekend. For season-long updates of the Junior B team, follow them at ProFit Corvairs on Twitter, at Caledonia Corvairs on Instagram, or visit the team's website. Six Nations Minor Lacrosse are a proud supporter of the Six Nations Chiefs. Six Nations Minor Lacrosse has over 500 registered members and players, coaches and trainers. The success of our organization is contributed to the many volunteers and our community. We are proud to support, encourage, and promote our game of lacrosse, Six Nations Minor Lacrosse.
Welcome back, lacrosse friends, to the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena. Let us know who you think should be the Thompson Brothers Lacrosse 3 stars of the game. Use the Twitter handle at JVI Video, and maybe throw at Thompson Brothers Lacrosse on there.
Oh, yeah.
And they are sponsoring the 3 stars all series. And, so far, obviously, pretty much in favor of the Chiefs after that early burst. The Burrards had some chances, and so many times, if you have the chances and you don't capitalize, it winds up going the other way.
Yeah, you know what? They had a really good start, obviously, getting that first goal early, but it just seemed like they got away from the offense that was working. You even heard, Mallory talk about it before, saying that they just started standing still, and they really did. And I thought in the first period early on, they did a really good job of swinging the ball east-west, get their movement north-south, and try to get this big, tough Six Nations defense moving and out of their comfortability area. And that's what they need to get back to doing, I think.
Yeah, and Maple Ridge has been trying to push the pace, and you can see Zach Porter in particular, running the ball up the floor. They're trying, but they haven't been creating a lot of opportunities in transition, and that certainly, transition goals can make such a difference. Remember, again, on the faceoffs, you got to pull straight back. Jeremy Thompson adapts well. That is not what he's used to, but then he misses it, and Porter comes up with it. Bounces away from him. Thompson and Merrill fighting for it. Thompson has it, but Kevin Reed was there for the big hit, and they're going to it's a chin strap call against Six Nations. Jeremy Thompson has to go off. The chin strap loosens after the battle along the boards, and the Burrards have the ball. They're going to be shorthanded for another 2 minutes. They have killed the first penalty. We'll see if they're able to kill this second one. Paul Dawson and John Sullivan. And there's a shot by Jared Davis. Paul Dawson's going to run the ball up the floor. Paul Dawson, a recently married man, just last weekend. Saw some nice pictures on Facebook of him and Midori, his lovely bride, making him look good. There's Dane Smith over to Austin Stotts. Quick pass across to his brother Randy, and that shot goes wide. Dane Smith will track it down. They've got 2 on the shot clock. It expires. He's going to have to put it down right there. And Aaron Davis runs right past it to get the offense out on the floor. So does Kevin Reed, and eventually realizes he was the last guy. He's got to pick it up. Leo Storos pressuring him. The 10-second count is on, and it's at 8 seconds. And Reed, nice heads-up play to shovel it into the corner, but Dylan Ward gets it there as Jared Davis wasn't able to get there first.
That's one thing the Six Nations team does really well. They ride well, lock off, and really make it a hard job for that defense to transition the ball when they are on the power play.
You and your rides. I know you were playing at Medaille down in Buffalo, right?
Yes.
Ryan Monash coming
Beautiful
in,
Buffalo,
saved by Frankie Chiliano. And I know you got some field in you. I like the field lacrosse too. We're both Kufla fans.
Yes, of course. I like all forms of lacrosse.
There you go. Not much better than a 7-game Mann Cup, though.
It's the best. It's the absolute best.
Dan Dawson, they're setting up with 28 seconds left on the power play. There's Randy Stotts out to Dan Dawson. There's Dane Smith. Shot by Austin Stotts, bounces out. Snagged nicely there by Dane Michaud. Michaud gets the ball up the floor. No worry about the 10-second count that time. Stephen Keel, we're kind of lucky to have him with us because Syracuse is playing tonight. He's an Orange alum and big fan. Randy Stotts, of course, as well. Probably half a dozen guys here.
Austin Stotts will probably end up his way there after OCC.
He has signed up at OCC. Dan Taylor over to Riley Lowen. Lowen, nice little spin move. Jeremy Thompson recovers. Lowen gets the shot off. Ward had to be sharp on that one. We've talked about how Ward has some of the best feet among a goalie in lacrosse, and he was ready to stop that shot by Lowen, who did a nice job using the defender as a screen. We're back to 5-on-5 lacrosse. Stotts being watched by Barker. Now Barker's going to scoop up the loose ball, just gets away from him. And there's Porter getting to the first man to the bench, but by then the Chiefs had 2 teal jerseys out already to take away the transition chance. And now here comes a breakaway wide open for Sid Smith. Doesn't score a lot, but he's got a golden chance. Saved by Chiliano. Smith went through the crease. He won't be able to pick it up. So Creighton Reed has lots of time to grab the ball and run it into the offensive zone. See if the Burrards can get things clicking again. They got that early goal from Ben McIntosh. Well, it was actually 7 years ago today, apparently, that Sid Smith was drafted. I thought it was 6 years. It was 2010, was it not? No, 2009. Cody Jamieson was 2010. So Sid Smith drafted by the Rochester Nighthawks out of Syracuse University. Cody Jamieson, of course, scored that famous
Huge
goal.
I remember that like
to
it was
win an
yesterday.
NCAA championship. Chiliano with the save in transition. And here comes Zach Porter again, running the ball up the floor. Mallory is down there. That one skips away from Ward, but it's scooped up by John Sullivan. He'll pass it across, and Brody Merrill runs it ahead. Bunch of Nighthawks on this Six Nations team. It's almost a Rochester-Saskatchewan battle.
Sprinkled in with some Buffalo here and there. It's great.
Dan Dawson, one of those Nighthawks. Watched by Michaud. He jumps out on him. Nice job by Michaud to get through the pick. The ball goes over to Stotch, who's trying to open up some space. That ball bounces loose. Great job defensively by Travis Irving, getting all over Austin Stotch. And here comes Aaron Davis. The captain's going to the net. Nice goal. Was he in the crease? No. I thought for a second the official was coming in to, it looked like he might be signaling crease, but I thought it was clean. So, and apparently it was, as Aaron Davis, Rob Williams talked about him being a heart and soul guy for this team, the guy who's led them through all the adversity, and that's a huge goal in transition.
Yeah, that's a heart and soul goal that you talk about. A nice Lucy taking to the net, faking that he's going to pass it off and just brings it to the net. Not the prettiest of shot, but they don't draw pictures on the score sheet. And you talked about how this transition needs to start taking to the net, and they did that there. I think they're going to continue to really, force the issue here.
Yeah, not even a question of a crease call. And
no.
It wasn't suggesting there was, but I think it felt like the ref might be looking at it, but maybe he heard us talking about field lacrosse and did the field delay. What a play! Riley Lowen, what a pass from Taylor. And Lowen, full spread to catch it and get the quick shot off. It's 5-3, and we talked about a transition goal. Maybe it's a spark. The captain and leader, Aaron Davis, doesn't, and the Berards are on a bit of a roll.
Yeah, this is exactly what the Berards need, and you can tell they're not getting too high right now. Obviously 5-3, but this is perfect ball movement, and it's a perfect cut right by Riley Lowen. A better feed as well, and that pass as well was right on the money, threading the needle, and Lowen making no mistake. Almost like a twister there with the finish, but. The Berards are on the attack once again.
Oh, yeah, Kevin Reed comes up with the ball off the faceoff. Nice pickup by Zach Porter on that low pass to short hop it and keep control for the Berards, and they're back on the power play and have the Chiefs a bit on their heels right now. Riley Lowen with the ball. What an athletic play to make that catch and shot. That pass isn't going to get through, though. Ethan O'Connor scoops it up. Speaking of athletic, Ethan O'Connor gliding up the floor, passes across. Nice tip by Michaud. That one was going over to Roger Weiss. Banesh holds on to it, now is stripped of the ball by Irving. Chiefs controlling it on the outside. Randy Stotts tries a couple of moves. Oh, and Weiss can't quite catch that ball, and he stepped in the crease while he was playing it. And it'll be Berard's ball. And
smart play by Stotts, recognizing the slide coming over, just dishes it right over to Weiss, but he can't hold on to it and steps into the crease as well anyways, even if he did grab that ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a good slide in that, the defender saw, I think it was Irving actually jumped over and saw that his teammate was kind of losing his balance and needed some help, but it definitely left Weiss open. Bit of a break maybe for the Berards, but that you do create breaks when you put pressure on.
They definitely were looking for a turnover there. And at this point of the game, you got to take some chances, which they have in the last little while, and they're back in this game because of it.
Jared Davis with a little tug on the jersey. He gets away with it, and David Brock will shoot. That one bounces off of Chiliano straight back out to Dane Smith. Briar Jonathan, the fifth man on the floor, slips into the play, runs straight into Colton Porter. And there's a pick on Zach Porter. Dane Smith steps back. He's knocked down. Ball is stripped by Kevin Reed, and Dane Smith's going to take a retaliation penalty as Reed kind of chopped down on him while he was on the floor, but it looked clean to me. I think Reed got, the Chiefs bench is giving it to Reed, but I thought he got stick. He may have got some arm.
It looked pretty close. I just saw the last second. I was looking up floor, and I just kind of heard a little bit of a stick noise, so I'm thinking that's might what it would have been.
McIntosh to the net, scores!
Wow.
They go with the extra attacker and get their third straight goal in this period. No need to wait for the power play as they do it with the extra man. And Kevin Reed drawing that penalty from Smith, and whatever you think. I mean, it probably depends on which team you're a fan of. But I thought the initial play was an okay play by Reed, getting the stick while he was down. And there's a shot, great hands by Ben McIntosh. We've seen that in close before.
Yeah, he's so good in tight, and it's again, moving away from the ball. Then when the ball is in his stick, he's a shifty player. He's not just a catch and release guy. Like he did say, he does a good job getting open, finding space. But when he does find that space, boy, he can do some magic with the ball, and we just saw that there.
Travis Irving pulls the face-off out. Stephen Keogh buries Zach Porter, and Porter takes Keogh's stick with him. You can see the orange head for Syracuse laying on the floor. There is Kevin Reed. He's going to try and fling it ahead. Lots of pressure from Paul Dawson. Great pass and a great catch by Ben McIntosh. He's going to try and even things up. Pass it down, quick stick by Taylor, but it gets away from him, and Ward will pull the ball back to himself. And very interesting double pick on the last goal by the Burrards. If the first man comes through and sets the pick, like the offensive lineman. Oh, Dane Smith all alone, saved by Chiliano. Big one for them. But it's like the offensive lineman saying the pick, and then the fullback comes in and blows up the linebacker who thinks he's got a hole. And that's where McIntosh came through. That shot by Davis is stopped, and Ward's going to pass one up the other way. Thompson is running. He's got Reed back. That's Creighton Reed. Going back in reverse transition. Thompson's shot goes off of Chiliano into the mesh, and he earns a possession and a fresh 30 for the Chiefs. It's 5-4. The Burrards battling back in. Benesh with the ball, passes across to Dawson. Austin Stotts cuts through the middle. Now the second cutter is Weiss. He gets a bit of a whack from Aaron Davis. And you can see the intensity ratcheting up in the trenches. As the plays go on, you can see the Burrards, we've talked about, they're a physical team known as the Burrard Street Bullies. The Chiefs are giving it back, as they're wont to do. Keogh, nice pass to Dawson. One to shoot, gets it off, but Chiliano's there. Not much time for Dawson to do much else. We're going to take another look when we get a chance to see that last chance from Dane Smith. In the meantime, the Burrards back on the offense, taking their time. Lowen spinning, passes it across. Comes back to Lowen. He tries the low shot, but Sturos got some stick on stick, 7 to shoot. Swim move by Mallory. Paul Dawson and Daniel Amesbury getting into it, and they're both going to go to the penalty box.
And here's that replay. We'll see that second chance here by Dane Smith. In tight, and just a beautiful stop by Chiliano. You talk about how big of a goal he is, but for a big body like Chiliano, he is mightily athletic.
We're going to have a face-off again, and again, if you're just joining us, it is CLA rules. It's not like you're used to seeing through the course of the summer. You have to draw back immediately. These guys are used to kind of clamping down and battling for it. They both adjusted pretty well. Jeremy Thompson, and there have been a handful of Burrards who do take face-offs. Thompson is back out. Vaughn Harris will take some for Six Nations, but it's been all Thompson tonight.
Thompson's so good at the draw, and you talk about how he's able to, adapt, and he's been pretty solid tonight.
Irving clamp and pull on that one, though, but it is Mike McNamara who gets on top of the ball and allows Thompson to pick it up, and the Chiefs will have possession. We're 4-on-4 with Dawson and Amesbury off to the boxes.
In that major series final, this Six Nations team was so deadly 4-on-4, so look to see them really moving around.
Stotts misses and gets flattened, and then he's going to grab the leg of Barker. Barker will swing his stick up at the head of Stotts, and Stotts is giving it to him. The official jumps in between them.
That's a missed call by the officials.
Yeah.
Stotts took a slash right to the face there.
Yeah. Oh, and now Ryan Benesh is fallen coming out of the bench, and then that's Leo Sturos with a huge pick on Owen Barker. Barker, of course, the one who was involved moments ago. Burrard setting it up. McIntosh to Mallory, who had his back to the net, but gets to Taylor and scores. We have ourselves a tie game, and boy, you saw the Chiefs do it to the Lakers a couple times in the MSL playoffs where they just got on a run and the Lakers tried to respond. They couldn't. The Burrards have done a great job coming all the way back.
Yeah, it looks like they definitely got their travel legs out of the system in the first period. We saw Six Nations go on their run 5 straight, and now we've seen the Burrards do the same with 4 straight goals in this period, and it's all been from the same thing. Great ball movement, finding the open man in the middle, and now they're sinking their shots. They're making Dylan Ward really work for it, where in the first period, they kind of were just throwing it on net. Now they're picking their spots, and they seem to, I wouldn't say solve Dylan Ward here, but they're making him look human again.
Burrard setting up in the offense again, looking to take the lead for the first time since early in the game. Still 42 seconds on the matching penalties. There's a pass to the middle. Lowen, that's a big save by Dylan Ward. As Lowen showing you how quick he is. And we will take a quick commercial break while the goalies go and get some water. Thanks for being with us on JVI Sports Network's presentation of the Mann Cup. And Patty, you have something to say.
Track athletic programming is ever evolving, and trying to find good programming is getting more and more difficult. But with track athletics director Colin Doyle has developed an athletic program for boys and girls based in a fun, fast, and safe environment. A full slate of programs are now open for registration, including boys and girls lacrosse clinic and PA Day and holiday camps. Next PA Day camp is October 7th. For more information, visit TorontoRockAC.com. And of course, the Toronto Rock Athletic Center is pleased to present the Paul Rabel Experience Live. This is a one-of-a-kind event coming to Canada's premier lacrosse facility on October 1st and 2nd, bringing lacrosse icon Paul Rabel to Oakville to hold his first ever Canadian camp. And it's the first of many unique events that the track plans on hosting. This Saturday, October 1st, the camp is already sold out, but don't worry, there is still space in the Sunday, October 2nd camp for Pee Wee, Bantam, and Midget players. Goalies are also needed for both days, and goalies, yes, you can register for free. For more information, register online at TorontoRockAC.com. This is going to be that we missed the slash. But things are definitely heating up. We knew the Burrard Street Bullies were going to try to get under the skin of Six Nations, and it looks like they have a little bit now. Yep. We see them now back in the game. Six Nations getting really scrambled on defense, which we did not see much in that major series finals. But that's because the Maple Ridge Burrards are so fast, so athletic. They swing the ball east and west, and it's really hard for a defender. You don't want to stay too tight because you give that outside look. But then when you do spread out, it really leaves that middle open.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Here come the Chiefs to the other end. Ryan Benesh takes the pass from Dane Smith. DJ Sari out on Benesh. Gets it over to Dawson. He's picked up immediately. Dane Smith tries to come off the pick. Nice two-man game. Creighton Reed all over him. The ball's loose. Who will get there first? It's Porter, Colton Porter, trying for a break. Benesh all over him, and Porter never could pick it up. Just wasn't able to get hold of that ball. And now we have a penalty coming.
We'll wait and see what the call is going
the
to be.
officials getting together. They're going to say, I thought I saw a penalty call, but they're just going to say Burrard's possession.
I was just going to say.
I thought I saw the hand go up, but there's a cut by Lowen again. Boy, he's so sharp at getting in there. Here come the players out of the boxes, and the shot by Jared Davis is.
Six Nations, once again, the defense caught flat-footed.
Well, that's the advantage of the penalty boxes in this second period. Yep. The Maple Ridge box is closest to theirs. Your player comes out. You send the guy off the other end of the bench. There's a shot by Keogh, whereas Dawson is the closest man. He has to try and sprint back in, and it led to a good scoring chance for the Burrards. Here comes Porter once again. 2 Chiefs back already, though, to take away transition. We talked about how important transition could be in a spark, and was it ever when Aaron Davis got that goal? Not to say the other 3 goals wouldn't have happened, but you didn't necessarily have that feeling. And then all of a sudden he gets that one, and then Lowen, and then they just started rolling. 8 to shoot. They try to make the backdoor pass. It gets away. Lowen tries to grab it. Nice forecheck by Lowen to chop on it, but David Brock comes up with the ball. And here come the Chiefs. Brock is going to let one rip. That one's saved by Chiliano, who didn't even see where the ball went. But it doesn't matter. It's bounced up to Creighton Reed. Shot by Reed is a nice job by Thompson picking up Mallory coming off the bench. And now the other way. Ethan O'Connor has the ball. He's going to shoot. Saves Chiliano. Loses his balance, but the ball bounces away. Effort played there by Colton Porter. And eventually it goes to Travis Irving. He'll give it off to Barker. We're back to 5-on-5 lacrosse. 7.5 minutes to go here in the second of a tie game. Game 1 of the Mann Cup on JVI Sports Network. I'm Steven Stamp with Pat Gregoire. Taylor being watched by McNamara. Gets it across. And Jarrett Davis makes a couple moves on Brody Merrill. A little pick, and then the roll. Toe drag, Mallory shoots. Stopped by Dylan Ward. And Brody Merrill with the loft pass ahead. Gets it up to John Sullivan, who's going to slow things down. The Berards in this long change period doing a nice job getting their defenders out there to take away transition. Smith hits Austin Stotts off the bench. Quick shot, but it's right in the belly pad of Chiliano. Here comes Dane Michaud the other way. Sorry, Matt McLeod. McLeod's going to slow it down. Hands it off to Connor Goodwin. Lowen again cutting to the middle. The outside shot. Ward had to be sharp on that one as Jarrett Davis went after it. And Ben McIntosh will run all the way down the floor. We're used to him being quick cutting to the net, but that was some nice speed down the floor to pick up the Lucy. Fresh 30 for the Berards. They've got 22 of it left. Lowen shoots off balance. They're going to say moving pick as Paul Dawson was flattened. Dane Smith running down with Kevin Reed on him. Von Harris shoots, saved by Chiliano. We talked about the Chiefs goalies. Hill and Jamison both likely high picks. Von Harris is going to go high. He could be a first rounder too in this draft.
You know, obviously there's a ton of NLL talent on this Six Nations team, but you look at more, and you look at those young guys, and they're going to definitely join them in that league, no doubt.
There has been talk of Austin Stotts going in to the draft, but he has said, he and his brother Randy have both said, nope, he's going to OCC. I guess we will see in the next couple of weeks as the draft is coming up on the 26th. I'll actually be covering that draft with Andy McNamara. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I will be there as well.
Excellent. Jeremy Thompson with the bounce pass over to Randy Stotts. And Briar Jonathan's looking for someone to give it up to. Keel watched by Michaud, who's got a real knack for not looking directly at the player, letting his peripheral vision keep an eye on the ball carrier and just look the other way to see who's coming. There's a shot by Barker, doesn't get through, it hits Sturos. And Paul Dawson's going to separate and get a hold of that ball. Pass it up to Randy Stotts. Austin Stotts is up. Nice job by Michaud to get back and take away the lane. And there's a penalty coming. And a goal by Dawson. But it's Paul Dawson, not Dan Dawson, who gets this one to make it 6-5 Chiefs.
An absolute bone-crunching hit. Delayed penalty. And Austin Stotts is going to go to the box.
Yeah, he got up into the face
and
of Travis Irving. And that is the knock on Austin Stotts, and it's something. Let's take a look at the goal first.
Yeah, we see Austin Stotts look off his brother. Smart play, though, because you'll see the shot there on one Dawson, and the other one says, "Don't worry, brother, I got you," and rips a beauty.
And then Paul Dawson gives a little shove to Dane Michaud after the goal. But, yeah, I mean, that's an interference call.
Oh, no doubt, absolutely, but, you know, that's a huge goal. It looked like in fact, the momentum was definitely rolling in favor of Maple Ridge. And folks, this is a perfect time to let you know that you have a say in tonight's 3 stars. Tonight's 3 stars are also brought to you by the Thompson Brothers. It might be a Thompson Brothers 3 stars, but something tells me that maybe some Stotts Brothers might be in here as well. So tweet us at JVI Video. Who do you think should be here? I'm sure there's lots from both teams. Maple Ridge have definitely some choices as well, and Six Nations as well. And we are in quite a game so far.
It is a tremendous game, and the goal, of course, by Paul Dawson, who, interestingly, was a goaltender coming up. He was drafted into the National Lacrosse League as a goaltender and then eventually transitioned into a defender. It's worked out pretty well for him. He has a world championship to his credit and some National Lacrosse League championships with the Rochester Nighthawks. Taylor on the top, throws it across, gets it back. Mallory's just waiting, but they go back door. That one's stopped by Ward. Running the floor is Sid Smith. Gets it over to Brody Merrill on his offside. They're just going to slow things down. Dane Smith takes it, and Matt McLeod is locked on to Stephen Keogh. They do not want Keogh to get the ball. He's calling for a pick from Dane Smith. They want the switch, but it's a little slow coming. You can see McLeod signaling for Aaron Davis to switch. There's Keogh going to the net, puts the shoulder down, and Zach Porter kind of got out of the way. Oh, and knocks the ball out of the stick. Good play by him, and Kevin Reed tied up with Keogh, who once again leaves his orange-headed stick on the floor. Berard setting up on the man advantage. Less than 4 minutes to go in the second, a 1-goal game. Boy, if you're at Maple Ridge, you don't mind that you're down by 1 here when they were down by 4. Great comeback. Now they want to tie it up again. 8 on the shot clock with Taylor up top. Quick stick by Lowen. Ward was all over that one. Outlet pass to Dane Smith. He's so dangerous in transition, but a great job getting out there in the reverse transition. That's Colton Porter going to pick up Dane Smith. He was the first man off the bench. Benesh loses his stick. Some good tweets talking about it getting Berardi out there. Things stepping up in intensity. And Teddy Jennifer wanted to see Paul Dawson and Daniel Amesbury go.
Yes, I
he
saw him
did not
tweet
like
that.
the refs jumped in the way.
No.
10 seconds left on the penalty. It'll be the Chiefs killing it. The Berard's going to let them for these final few seconds, and we'll go back to 5-on-5 lacrosse. Austin Stott steps out of the box and sprints into the offensive formation and immediately runs into Travis Irving, then sets a pick on Aaron Davis, then looks for the ball, but it's picked off by Roger Weiss. I thought that pass was to Austin Stotts. Roger Weiss grabs it in the middle of the floor. It looked like everyone else was looking at Stotts, and Weiss rips it home. And we now know Austin Stotts is just about as excited when somebody else scores.
He doesn't matter as long as the ball's in the back of the net. He is fired up, and that is some vintage Roger Weiss as it's a quick catch and release. You'll see here, look, beautiful feed. Weiss with a quick catch and release, like I said, and he's got one heavy sharpshooting shot. Chiliano's going to go to the bench, a well-deserved break for him. I mean, that little break where he made a couple of big-time saves. We're going to see this here on the replay. Stephen Keogh just sticking his way to the net, falling down though. But like you mentioned, he is so hard to get the ball out of his stick. He's, you literally have to take the stick out of his hands to turn the ball over, which they did. We saw him. He was a real force in, those last 2-3 games. A really big X factor, scoring goals, killing penalties, and then we saw him in that spirited fight as well. It was quite the tilt.
Travis Irving lining up against Jeremy Thompson. Thompson pulls out, and Irving just kind of waits for his stick to be out of the way and then pulls it out. And I think Jeremy Thompson is looking to the referee and saying, I pulled, and he just left his stick there. You are supposed to be pulling back, but Irving didn't really clamp. Maybe? I don't know. I'm not that clear on how those face-offs are supposed to work. And I mean, the refs don't have to call them all year either, so everyone's adjusting.
Maybe they're getting used to it as well.
Nice pass across. McIntosh goes low. It bounces off a Ward up into the mesh. And over the mesh, a lucky fan jumps over and grabs the souvenir. I'm not sure if he was racing for the souvenir or protecting his grandmother sitting beside him. Either way, job well done. Lowen's pass is picked off and then snagged. Nice job by Vaughn Harris to grab that ball under pressure. Big pick from David Brock, and then the pass to Benesh well behind him, but it comes straight out to Brock. John Tavares on the bench, telling his guys to settle it down and set up the offense. What a set of lacrosse minds on that bench. Dan Dawson has it, takes a peek at the shot clock, sees 8 seconds, starts to back his way down. One hand, shot, scores. The Dawson brothers might be involved in this three-star competition after all.
Yeah, it's an absolute family affair. Dan Dawson, like I said, probably a big contender for that MVP. More of a quarterback, setting up a lot of plays. Tonight we're seeing him score goals. One hand on the stick, barely puts it back on and blasts it past Chiliano. But he just uses that big frame to create space, back up and shoot. And we've seen him do that so many times, haven't we?
We have. And the thing with Dan Dawson, he's a tall, looking like a thin guy. People think, oh, he's pretty thin. How strong can he be? He is massively strong. He is so wiry strong and about as tough as they come in terms of sheer strength. And he just bowled his way there, and he can hold it in one hand and ward you off with the other without taking the big swing that will get the warding call.
Exactly.
Here goes Stotts down below. McLeod scores! Just as the Burrards feel like they're getting back into it, the Chiefs go on a run. This is what they did to Peterborough. The Burrards are going to have to counter it right now. It's Randy Stotts saying, Dawson Brothers, we got you.
It's a no doubt a family affair here at the ILA tonight. Randy Stotts finding the back of the cage once again. And this game is, there's the old saying lacrosse is a game of runs, but this is the absolute definition of that. We've seen Six Nations now take the momentum right from the Burrards. You see this replay here, pass coming down from Keogh. And Stotts just wastes no time, doesn't wait for a pick to come his way. He sees a lane on the outside, fakes to go top side, rolls it inside, and finds a lane to the net and beats Giuliano.
Well, and you see, so many teams will play that, give the man the outside downward lane, and figure they're going to have help coming, so you don't have the guy sliding into the slot. Yep. And boy, if the help isn't there, there's nothing that you can do if you're Matt McLeod and you get caught behind. Nice pickup there by Colton Porter. Gets it ahead to Kevin Reed. Reed's going 1-on-4, so he's going to slow it down. Gives it over to Zach Porter. The Burrards will set up in the final minute of the second period. They trail 9-5. They were down by 4 to start the period. They're down by 4 again after the teams have traded runs. Lowen, he wants to rip it. Saved by Ward, 30 seconds. The Chiefs are going to wait, and they will have their full 30-second clock with 27.6 to go. They call timeout. They'll get 6 attackers on the floor for the final possession of this second period. And our director, Alex Frazzo, is very excited about some social media. Follow us on Twitter at JBI Video, at Major Series Lacrosse, hashtag Man Cup, hashtag lacrosse, hashtag JBI. Let's throw some hashtags in, but Man Cup, I think is a big one.
Oh, absolutely. It's the biggest of them all. Like Matt said pregame, one of the most sought-after trophies in the entire sport.
It's a beauty, too.
It's a very old trophy as well. One of the oldest in Canada and one of the most expensive.
I think it's the oldest, but I'm not sure. And like us on Facebook, there's some YouTube. That's an important one. Go to the YouTube page and subscribe, and then you'll have the whole list of all the games. All these games will be archived. You can go watch them later. We encourage you to join us live because that's the best way. But follow them later if you can't make it. Check it out. We talked about the lacrosse minds on the Six Nations bench briefly. Rich Kilgore, a Hall of Famer in the NLL, and he is the head coach, and he is a guy who served his apprenticeship. He's an assistant coach in the NLL. He has shown that he is a great head coach. John Tavares, the offensive coach. Not much we need to say about him. Dewey Jacobs is a great player in his own right. He's been the GM in this team. He's now the president. Let Steve Chugger Dietrich, another Hall of Famer, be the GM. And then we saw Cody Jamieson, who, we've talked about these Hall of Famers. John Tavares goes in this year. Cody Jamieson, he may be on track.
Yeah, something tells me he might find his way there.
He might be there one day. Here comes Dane Smith, 22 seconds left. Lots of time for the Chiefs to set up. Dan Dawson's down in the crease, and he's getting worked over a little bit by Aaron Davis. 11 seconds. Chiefs start to move. Stotts back up to Smith. There's Weiss. Banesh with the quick release. Comes out to Randy Stotts, shoots, but Frankie Giuliano was there waiting for that one, and they just ran out of time to get another shot. So it will be 9-5. And Aaron Davis was down in the corner. It looked like something might erupt, but everyone just calmed down and they're heading to their benches. We are going to have Sam McDade talking to, I believe she's going to grab Dane Smith down on the floor of the Six Nations Chiefs. And obviously, he's going to be feeling a lot better than he was when Maple Ridge scored 4 straight goals.
Yeah, we talked about the runs that they've had, but it just seems like Six Nations, when the runs matter the most at the end of the period, to grab that momentum heading into the dressing room. It just that seems like they've got it. And one thing that you just look at the scoreboard right now, this is not a 9-5 game. Maple Ridge obviously had that slow start in the first, and then they had that, just that lapse in the late part of that second period. But, a couple bounces here and there, and no doubt this could be a tied ball game.
And Sam McDade and Dane Smith are having a nice chat down on the floor, just on their own. I think they're going to let us in on the rest of it as we go down to the floor with Sam McDade.
Six Nations. Dane, so far, congratulations on a good game so far.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, they came out flying. We competed with them, and we have one more period to play.
Well, let's just talk about that. They came out with momentum in the second period. You guys kind of snatched that right out from under them. What was the key of doing that?
You know what? Hard work. I mean, we got away from our game, and we just got to stick to the game plan. I think we'll be okay.
Six Nations making history in MSL this year, being the first team to come back from a 3-0 game deficit in the semifinals to come here and win it after 7 games. How proud are you to be a part of this team?
Yeah, that was a crazy series. I give the credit to Peterborough. They're a great team, and we got lucky, and we played our game, and we came out with the win, and hopefully we're winning the Mann Cup.
You came out with a lot of offense. You got a couple assists here tonight. What's working for you? What sparked your offense?
I think working as a team, moving the ball, and everybody's getting each other open. We're not working for one shot, so it's looking good so far.
Lastly, Dane, how cool would it be to win the Mann Cup at home here in front of all this crowd here?
It'd be unbelievable. The fans have supported us all year, and we're hoping to win them here.
I'll let you get ready for the third period with the rest of your team. Thanks so much for the interview, Dane. Stick with us here on JVI Sports Network. We got the third period of play coming up after this break.
It's interesting because 2 years ago,
Huron and of the Mohawk, of the wilderness, of strength and endurance. This is Canada. This is lacrosse. Our country, our sport. Canada's national summer sport, lacrosse.
2017 Toronto Rock season tickets are on sale now. Lock in your seat today for as low as $195 and you won't miss a moment of the action. For more information, visit torontorock.com.
JVI Sports Network's coverage of the 2016 Mann Cup is brought to you in part by the following. The ILA Sports Store. The ILA Sports Store takes pride in providing a wide range of merchandise from top suppliers. Yes, in lacrosse, but also hockey and baseball. From suiting up players of all ages to customizing your team, the ILA Sports Store focuses on providing quality customer service to meet your individual needs. Browse their website or connect with them on social media to see why they are the shop of champions. ProFit Health Club. Achieve your fitness goals with our state-of-the-art facilities, programs, products, and services. Become a member and realize your potential when supported by our helpful staff and energized community. The ProFit Health Club is proud to serve the Caledonia, Hagersville, Hamilton, and Oswego areas. Visit them online or social media for more information or to sign up for one of their fantastic programs. The Caledonia ProFit Corvairs. The 3-time defending Sutherland Cup champions begin their 2016 and 17 season this weekend. For season-long updates of the Junior B team, follow them at ProFit Corvairs on Twitter, at Caledonia Corvairs on Instagram, or visit the team's website. Six Nations Minor Lacrosse are a proud supporter of the Six Nations Chiefs. Six Nations Minor Lacrosse has over 500 registered members and players, coaches and trainers. The success of our organization is contributed to the many volunteers and our community. We are proud to support, encourage, and promote our game of lacrosse, Six Nations Minor Lacrosse.
Born of the Huron and of the Mohawk, of the wilderness, of strength and endurance. This is Canada. This is lacrosse. Our country, our sport. Canada's national summer sport, lacrosse.
Welcome back to the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena here at Six Nations Home Barn. Matt Carrick joining me again, Sam McDade alongside as your tournament co-host. Matt, how's this evening going so far for you?
It's pretty good. We're back here working on some replays and helping bring the broadcast to you folks out there. Getting a lot of feedback on Twitter, which is fantastic. The community's really stepping up and talking to us. We've seen a lot of great pictures coming in. We've got a lot of feedback, like we said, on both sides. So it's been a fantastic evening here behind the scenes, and I know you've been enjoying the action out there in the bowl as well.
Well, definitely. I've been getting some good answers out on the floor if you guys have been tuning in. If not, let's recap, though, on some highlights for the fans who are just joining us now after 40 minutes of play, 9-5 for Six Nations. Let's start with the second period of play and how Maple Ridge, they came out guns blazing. They had all the offense, all the momentum with them, and then it just seems that Six Nations kind of came in there and took their thunder, squashed it for them. Matt, what do you think really, attributed to Six Nations being able to come out there with that confidence and take that lead back?
Well, I want to start with Maple Ridge first if I can, because
of course.
Sitting back here watching, I get to see a lot of the different angles that some people at home may not get to see. And Chiliano's been playing a great game in net for the Burrards. In that first period as well. I know the score wasn't in their favor going into the locker rooms after the first, but real solid in the net. He's standing in, taking a lot of good shots. As we can see here, the Burrards did get that attack going. They do have a lot of good offensive players with Lowen down on the crease and guys like McIntosh, like we talked about, but this was really the brotherly connections getting them back into the game. Paul and Dan Dawson connecting on that one. There was another one later on in the period where Dan Dawson absolutely got blown apart on a huge hit, and Paul Dawson came in behind him and scored, which I think really provided the offensive spark and the momentum to change it back to Six Nations way. But the brothers, both the Stotts brothers and the Dawson brothers, are really coming together here for the Chiefs.
We are definitely seeing a lot of brotherhood and a lot of family ties here in this arena. It is quite the home spectacle. Let's move on to a bit of history, shall we? All right, let's start with the MSL history. So Six Nations is the first team in MSL history to come back in semis from a 3-game deficit. So they were down 3 games to the Peterborough Lakers, and they came back to win it in 7. They're the first team in MSL history to do that and compete in the finals. So it would be a shame for them to lose here today. Let's quickly, though, touch on the WLA, their history, if you want to touch on that, Matt.
Yeah, for sure. The first time the Maple Ridge Burrards are coming out here, and it's a good experience for a lot of those players. I know you talked to Ben McIntosh, and he's been huge offensively for them over the past couple seasons that he's been part of this roster. But really interesting to see how he fits in the first time on the big stage, even with some of the other players that Six Nations has, especially the guys have been talking about. Austin Stotts, he's been on the national stage now, his 4th straight year, looking for his 4th straight championship. We see again the Game 6 graphic there for Maple Ridge coming in. But guys like Mike Mallory and Riley Lowen and Simons, who not household names. Lowen obviously does play NLL, but Mike Mallory and some of these other players who are stepping up. And like I said off the top in our pregame show, folks here in Ontario may not know those names coming in, but they'll definitely know them at the end of this tournament.
You know, we definitely have seen a lot of these guys. They are grateful to be here. They are fighting for their opportunity to be here. It's only game one. However, we are seeing quite the competition. We're going to send it back to Steven and to Pat, our play-by-play guys, for the last 20 minutes of play in this game one of the 2016 Mann Cup. Guys?
Thanks, Sam and Matthew. This is Steven Stamp with Patty Gregoire. And, you always talk about lacrosse is a game of runs.
Yep.
Boy, is it ever true in this one. Let us know who you think should be the Thompson Brothers Lacrosse 3 stars of the game. I talked to Bill O'Brien, who's the business manager, cousin of the 4 Thompson Brothers, about the show when we're setting up the Thompson Brothers as the 3 stars sponsor. And he said, a bit of pressure on Jeremy to kind of come up. Jeremy is not worried at all, though, I'll tell you. He just wants to win like the rest of his teammates. I know he is excited. He felt like the Mann Cup is something that's missing from his trophy case, from his resume.
Very filled trophy case.
Yes, he's done pretty well. NLL. I'm not sure if he's won a President's Cup when Onondaga won. Did he get that one?
Ooh, that's something we're going to have to look up.
If somebody knows, and
someone tweet us if you know.
Let us know.
There's the man right there, number 92. Chiliano just standing on his head through stretches of time, keeping this game close. I think if they're going to have a chance to win this series, win a couple games in this series at least as well, he's going to have to be on his game, and he has tonight.
That's the first step, of course, right? Is winning a couple of games and getting that belief. I mean, the Berards have been tweeting "believe." They're using that as a little rallying cry. Irving against Thompson, and you got to believe. But it gets hard when you get down a couple of goals on the road, and you know the stats. You try and forget it, but you know that no team from the West has won in Ontario in 30 years. You know everything going against you. You want to feel the things going for you. They had that 4-goal run. Can they do another one? And the nice thing is, once you've done one, you know you can do it.
Oh, the faith is definitely there for this Berards team. You talked earlier about how much adversity they've been through this year, being dubbed as the underdogs. They're the underdogs once again in the series, and they're the underdogs in game one here, but we know that they have a capability to score in bunches.
Yeah, and one thing, I was just checking my Twitter feed. I kind of neglected it for a bit. No, Billy D. Smith is not in the lineup. An interesting event. And he did miss a lot of the season after having some surgery. He was great in the MSL finals. I thought their best defender. There's Davis up top, shoots just a little bit wide. McIntosh will track it down. There's 7 seconds left on the shot clock, and McNamara gets there first. He's lost his stick. He's just going to try and block possession, and will do so effectively, so Jeremy Thompson picks it up. But, the Chiefs so deep. That's why we're seeing Vaughn Harris in the lineup. And Briar Jonathan with the ball now is in for Cody Jamieson, and clearly not going to try and take Cody Jamieson's spot. But Jonathan's done a pretty nice job for them. Now Dan Dawson drops the ball out for Dane Smith. Roger Weiss with it. Of course, we talked about Cody Jamieson being out. There's a shot from Stott, saved by Chiliano. And it's picked up by Michaud, who's had a strong game for the Berards. But they're also missing Jordan Durston, blew his knee out, he's gone for the year. And he's a huge impact player on this team. Johnny Palis with a concussion, he's out.
Yep.
So, there's 3 lefties. That's why you're seeing the likes of, Roger Weiss and Austin Stotts and Briar Jonathan with those big names out. And they have stepped up very well. In particular, of course, Austin Stotts. Here comes Vaughn Harris running away from Lyndon Natilla. And we're going to have a penalty. It's going to be the slashing call on Natilla. He got a little overzealous with the one-hand slashes as Harris ran away. And no goal on the breakaway, but they will get a power play.
Vaughn Harris putting together a nice little game so far. Couple scoring chances on transition, drawing a penalty there. But we talked about it, last series, how Harris had to really change his game, throwing him out the back door.
Yep.
And he's really adapted well, becoming a strong transitional player. And that's the benefit as a transition player. If you start out on offense early in your career, you've got the skill set. And once you learn how to play defense, you are set to be a transition stud.
How's this for a segue? Dane Smith starts at the top of the power play, a guy who played transition his first couple years in the NLL. His junior coach, Brian Beasel in KW, said, that's his route to fast track to NLL playing time. Randy Stotts behind the back. Dane Smith, shot saved by Chiliano. Dane Michaud again with the loose ball. Oh, but the pass goes to Austin Stotts. He is flattened by Reed. It's Kevin Reed. There's a penalty coming. They're going to call a trip. Stotts behind the back. What a save. Oh, thought he was going to go forehand. Really sold it and then went hard behind the back, but Chiliano's there.
That's just these ridiculous moves that we've seen this kid, and Banesh just laughing and shaking his head as he gives Austin Stotts a little high five there, just saying, "Are you kidding me, man?"
Nice try, kid. We got folks watching all over the places. We see a 5-on-3. Brody Merrill is the outlet valve, the safety valve at the top. Shaka Bainbridge down in Florida. We got Chad Fairfowl and his gang, his field players in Marshall, Missouri. And there's a goal by Dane Smith. They'll be happy if they're cheering for the Chiefs. As he buries that one. He is so dangerous with any time and space. It's considered almost an automatic goal when you go 4-on-3, and the Chiefs make the most of it, 10-5.
Yeah, it's an automatic goal, usually when you're 4-on-3, and when it's Dane Smith in a prime scoring opportunity like on the crease there, you can almost guarantee he's going to find the back of the net. I've said it multiple times in the major series finals. I think this guy is one of the most electric players, if not the most electric player to watch. You know, you talked about him being a transition player. He does do that a lot out the D door. What can't this guy do? He is a real treat to watch.
Possession to the Berards. Travis Irving earning it off the faceoff. He'll be scooped up by Colton Porter. And Ben McIntosh steps into the offensive zone, and he just was staying outside of the line, the restraining line, or that would have been an over and back. Again, you do have to stay inside that line. Low and flattened, but holds on to the ball. Now it's coming loose, and there goes Vaughn Harris the other way. He's watched by Jarrett Davis. Harris will just give it off to Banesh. 1:22 left in the penalty. The second penalty, of course, the Chiefs already with a power play goal here to go up 10-5. Pass in the middle, Smith misses that one. Michaud tried to get out on that one, but didn't want to be going out too hard. Banesh with the pass. I started to say shot. He changed it, tries the pass to Smith. Nice job by Aaron Davis to let the 30 expire as he bangs around, just keeping everyone from picking it up. And now he's sprinting. Gets a big hit, loses the ball as Dane Smith pounded him. Gets it, tries to get it back, flicks it ahead, but it's a 10-second count. Chiefs possession. Banesh just waves to David Brock and scores. And Aaron Davis thinks that was restarted a little bit quickly.
He might think that's the case, but unfortunately they're not going to turn that over for him. And that is as textbook as a Banesh goal comes. You talked about it earlier. That's his bread and butter. In tight on the corner, bad angle, but he just puts it short side. Chiliano just tries to lift that arm, can't get it there in time. Banesh, every time you think he doesn't have enough space to put a ball in the net, he proves you wrong. And that's an example of what he does right there.
Irving's back to face off against Harris. So the 11-5 lead now for the Maple Ridge Berards. And thanks to Kai Tarbell for letting us know that Jeremy Thompson has 3 President's Cups. So yeah, he's got some championships. 2 NLL titles with Saskatchewan, 3 President's Cups. Lowen falls. Paul Dawson stays on him. Lowen back up. Boy, Lowen is just a dynamo over on that far side. He gets to do so much more than he does with Saskatchewan, of course, where he plays behind Mark Matthews and Zach Greer, and his teammate here, Dan Taylor, is there. And we suspect, maybe Ryan Keenan going to join them
yes.
as the first pick in the draft.
I think that will
fairly
happen. Safe bet.
Dan Dawson with the ball. Shoots, just misses on the far side. No, they're going to say it touched Frankie Chiliano, so it'll be Chiefs ball. Roger Weiss starts with it. Social media is a wonderful thing. Kai Tarbell hears us asking, looks and just shoots it, and Tarbell playing in some himself. I believe we'd have to check Kai. Maybe Kai can tell us what he's won, because I think he's been a pretty successful guy too. Nice job by Brody Merrill to block Creighton Reed's shot as Reed rumbled up the floor. He gets the loose ball back, and he's going to lob it over to Ben McIntosh. Nearing the 5-minute mark into the third period. Nice pass through. I think Von Harris just got a bit of it to keep it away from Dan Taylor, and now Harris will run up the floor. Harris gives it off to Randy Stotts. Down to Dane Smith, and now Dan Dawson. Austin Stotts with Banesh picking for him. Big pick on Porter. The shot just goes off of Chiliano and a fresh 30. Austin Stotts run into the boards by Owen Barker. Barker is all over Austin Stotts, trying to maybe goad him into doing something. There's a shot. The save comes straight out to Austin Stotts. We talked about that as being Austin Stotts' weakness. Maybe he can get a little over-passionate and take some penalties that he really doesn't need to take. He's in there just trying to set some picks right now. Banesh goes to the net. Nice switch as Davis jumps out on him. Smith to Dawson. They've got 15 on the shot clock in this fresh 30. Randy Stotts trying to bull his way in on Zach Porter. Passes it to Austin Stotts, whose shot is swallowed up by Frankie Chiliano.
Once again, Chiliano with a timely save. Last thing you need right now if you're the Berards to let in an open outside look like that. But Chiliano, like you've said multiple times, both of us said, for how big he is, he moves so well.
There's Dan Taylor getting a pick from Lowen. Comes across to McIntosh. Jarrett Davis going to the net. Goes back against the grain, but Ward was right there. Had to be careful as Sid Smith picked that one up to make sure it didn't pop in on him. Sid Smith has the word for the referee, then passes it up to Briar Jonathan. Keogh takes it along the boards. Jonathan sets the pick and rolls off. Nicely shoots, scores. If you'd said before the playoffs this year that the Six Nations Chiefs would have Roger Weiss and Briar Jonathan running the pick and roll, people would have wondered with the Jamesons, Durstons, and Palaces of the world there, but they run it quite efficiently. Briar Jonathan was with a nice finish.
That's just a testament to how deep this club is, especially with their lefties. And it's a perfectly executed pick and roll. Briar Jonathan, that type of player, really, a good crash and banger without the ball. And it's a beautiful feed from Weiss and a perfect finish from Jonathan.
Talk about versatility.
Yeah.
As Roger Weiss, called Rocket Roger for a reason. He's a shooter, but he really evolved his game playing in CLAX, which we're sad to see end. But, Roger Weiss really evolved his game in the last couple of years, showed what a feeder and creator he can be. And Briar Jonathan is a defender who's being pressed into forward duty. Does a nice job there. Mallory with the ball. Nice little pick by Amesbury. Shot goes a little wide. It's running down the floor. It's going to be in play. O'Connor's the first man there. Amesbury chasing him. Oh, what a job by O'Connor to protect the ball. Amesbury hustling back, but can't stop him. And it's 13-5. The wheels are coming off for the Berards in game one as O'Connor gets a transition goal.
We'll see on the replay there, O'Connor picking up the loose ball, brings it in, and just a great move to get the wickets of Chiliano open, and he puts it 5-hole, making no mistake. Seen O'Connor all over on the floor, and he finally gets rewarded for a goal, a nice transition goal, to say the least as well.
Yeah, O'Connor can go. It's going to be Thompson and Irving once again at the faceoff dot. We're just 7:20 into this third period, and boy, the Chiefs have shown you how dangerous they can be when you give them a bit of a break. And I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to jinx the Berards, but so many times in that first game after traveling, if you get down, you take advantage. There's a shot, nice one by Barker, but it just misses and bounces all the way down the floor. And a penalty coming to Keogh with the slash on Kevin Reed. But I was going to say, you get down by the 4 goals. It takes so much energy sometimes to fight back.
Yep.
And then you talked about getting rid of the travel legs. Maybe the travel legs came back to bite them. I don't expect this is what we're going to see all series, but we'll see if they can take advantage of the extra attacker here, as they did earlier on a McIntosh goal. That shot by Taylor, a hard one, but swallowed up by Dylan Ward.
Keogh heading to the box there, as we see right now. We're going to see replay here. This is how it all started. This isn't the original slash, but behind the play,
Oh,
Sid Smith with a huge hit behind the play, and that's where everything ensues, and it's kind of boiled over. And for two tough teams, two very gritty teams, this has been a fairly clean game.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, you hear the Burrard's reputation, and they're embracing it. They have the Burrard Street Bullies T-shirts they warm up in, but you wonder as the score gets a bit out of hand, will the play as well? So far, it hasn't. What a pickoff by Sid Smith. You think about him as a defender, he's got some stick skills, and Sullivan will hand it off to Randy Stotts. The Chiefs will try and kill this penalty. No pressure yet from the Burrards. The ball thrown well up to Austin Stotts at the top. There's the double team coming now, but Stotts gets away from Porter. Now Colton Porter going after him. Stotts almost drew a holding call, but Porter careful not to latch on as he reached out with one hand. Effective job by him. Ryan Benesh takes it and passes it down. Austin Stotts is going to throw it over to Smith. Randy Stotts. There's a slashing penalty coming to Owen Barker. And Dylan Ward makes his way to the bench. They're trying to push Stotts outside the restraining zone, but he will hold his way in. Dan Dawson's waiting. He will not go inside the restraining zone because the clock, the 30 will start ticking then, so he may go in with 30 left in the original penalty to the Chiefs. That was almost picked off. Austin Stotts trying to get it. They're trying to force him outside, and he does come out the restraining line. So play will be blown down. Porter and Benesh getting into it. And there's Zach Porter coming to jump in.
And just as I say, it's been fairly clean and nothing too bad now. That it starts to get a little chippy, but with a team like the Burrards, we talked about them being a tough team. This is they're trying to set a message saying that this isn't the way that the series is going to go. And Austin Stotts is up. Actually down. He's up and hobbling to the bench. But if you haven't tuned in to any of the major series games, he's not happy.
Yeah, this one might be worse. You're about to say he's been taken to the dressing room every game almost. He's been going down. Had his shoulder separated twice in the series. Twice rolled in one game, rolled an ankle, and then it was twice in 2 games.
Yeah.
He hasn't gone down to the dressing room, but he was going quickly to the floor. Now I think we're going to see him make his way to the. No, he's just staying back there for now. Shot a little bit wide by Randy Stotts. Kevin Reed grabs it. Dan Dawson with the forecheck. 8 seconds left in the Chiefs penalty, and then they'll go on the power play. The Burrards, of course, can't afford to spend a whole lot of time just killing a penalty. And Dan Taylor's going to run up high with it. We'll see how aggressive they are going to the net, trailing by 8 with just under 10 minutes to go. Oh, knocked away by Paul Dawson. They're just going to let the over and back call expire. We will take a commercial break. Thanks for watching JBI Sports Network's presentation of the 2016 Mann Cup.
And this Mann Cup is brought to you by the Toronto Rock. The Toronto Rock season tickets are now on sale for the 2017 season. Enjoy great benefits like the ticket exchange program, 2 bring a friend vouchers, and for any regular season game, and your ticket for the first home playoff game is included. Tickets start as low as $195. For more information, call 416-596-3075 or visit TorontoRock.com. The Toronto Elite League is still accepting registrations for this fall. Join the Premier Winter Box Lacrosse League in Canada. A 24-game regular season allows players to keep their skills sharpened year-round. Rock Elite League has professional coaching from NLL players and coaches, NLL rules, and also some officials. Register online at rockeliteleague.com.
Randy Stotts starts up top with the Chiefs on the power play, leading 13-5. This is where you, as the team that's ahead, you don't want to get into bad habits. So you want to keep playing hard. Benesh is going to step back, thought about a shot, makes the pass to Stotts instead. Hard pass over to Weiss. Dane Smith behind the back, right in front, around the world by Keogh. Doesn't quite get through. Aaron Davis will pick up the loose ball. Now the Burrards, 46 seconds to kill and penalty again when you're trailing by 8. 9 minutes to go. You got to go and see if you can get a chance. And some speed, and the ball almost goes in. Connor Goodwin, he is a speedster, and we saw it there as he bursts up the floor. Got the shot off, and it snuck through Dylan Ward, and Ward is so composed, sees the ball sitting there, and must have thought, it doesn't have enough to get in. We'll just let somebody grab it. Chiefs setting up in the offense. 12 on the shot clock, 16 left now on the power play. Dane Smith to Benesh, low shot, scores. Fires it between a pair of Burrards defenders, and the power play goal makes it 14-5.
And this is the double-edged sword that the Burrards are going to have to face. You obviously want to keep your identity as a chippy team. You want to set a message saying that this thing isn't over, but at the same time, this Six Nations team is so powerful on the power play, and they also embrace the chippiness as well. They like to shove it in your face. You take a penalty, they want to score, and when you have guys like Benesh, who's dialed in tonight, shooting the ball like that, he's obviously going to make no mistake. And
Brendan Mulligan, well, there's the shot at the other end by Connor Goodwin. There's the ball. Luckily for the Chiefs, a defender there to grab it.
Could not be much closer to the back of the net there.
And Brendan Mulligan is in net for the Maple Ridge Burrards. After that last goal, Rob Williams just signaled for Frankie Chiliano to come to the bench. He heads into the hallway behind the bench to get his helmet off and probably get a drink. And not a great night for Frankie Chiliano. The best thing for a goalie to have is a short memory. And you know, Chiliano hasn't had a lot of really bad nights. Dylan Ward had a very bad night in Game 3 of the MSL Finals, and it spurred him on. He really said it motivated him to be better. That's when they fell behind 3-0. He gave up a whole pile of goals.
I wouldn't even necessarily say it's a bad night for Chiliano, just a long stretch period where, you know, he really wasn't finding his game there.
Dan Dawson with the ball as there's a delayed penalty coming on the Burrards. There's a slash, and there's another. No, they're not going to call that one. Zach Porter was doing about all he could to try and get another one as he was chopping down on a Chiefs player in front. Looks like Daniel Amesbury is going to the dressing room. We'll see what the call is. There was the initial minor penalty coming.
We'll wait and see what's happening here. The official's done explaining, but it looks like here we'll see the replay. Actually, we're seeing Austin Stotts run off the floor there, and you'll see he was not happy at all. A very emotional player, and
yes,
obviously he's
and in a lot
not
of pain.
Pleased that that he might have rolled that ankle that he's had some issues with as well.
Yeah, he looked. I mean, he was taken off during the one game in Peterborough, and they said, "Yeah, you may not be able to play again." And he said, "Tape it up. I'm going back out." Yep. He is just a Gumby doll. There's a pass up to Benesh. Shot. Oh, pass by Randy Stotts over to Dane Smith. Penalty coming to the Burrards. Ward makes his way slowly to the bench. Weiss misses on the quick stick attempt. Colton Porter grabs it in a slash coming now. Looks like Kevin Reed heading to the bench. And this is, I would think, a case of the officials trying to keep things in check.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. And I've mentioned it many times, Ian Garrison, the type of official that, if it's a rough play within, within the game, but if it's a off-ball slash, he's usually calling that, and that's exactly what that was.
So 5-on-3 Chiefs. They're going to move the ball around, barrel up top again. Keogh fakes the shot, goes to Weiss. Weiss and Briar Jonathan seeing some power play time. Weiss misses that pass, but goes straight to Keogh. He's got Porter out on him. That pass to Briar Jonathan and back to Weiss. The shot trickles through, but Mulligan gets the save. Another penalty coming. The high sticking call. Roger Weiss is showing that he was just following through on his shot. But he's going to go for the high stick. It'll be 3-on-4, and Dan Taylor will start with the ball.
Here's the replay right here. And we'll wait and see. And Weiss just saying that he was just getting his arm up on that follow through.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe elbowing was the, was the call. That's a pretty clear penalty.
Yeah.
If that comes at you, throw the elbow into the chin. So it's 3-on-4 for the next 50 seconds. There's a lot of space, and Lowen almost capitalizes. It's kicked in. It's a goal. A strange one, as it looks like it was kicked in. But Lowen with the shot, and the rebound just popped out off of Dylan Ward. And Dave Brock is trying to say that Lowen was in the crease. We'll have to see, honestly, on the replay.
Definitely want to see another look, and we're going to get another look here, and it comes out.
And it's Paul Dawson's foot, and Lowen is out of the crease.
And he's not in the crease. You'll see, keeps his footing, and it just goes right off Dawson's foot and in.
Yeah.
An unfortunate bounce, but at this part of the game, with the score with the way it is, you just got to be happy, shake it off. You know what? Hey, at least it's not in a tight game. Something like that happens. Get the bad bounces out at this point in the game, this point in the series, and just worry about finishing off this game.
And Von Harris gets banged up off the face-off. Looks like a stick came up and caught him in the chin. And he is over. He is kind of hobbled over to the bench, and he is now looking for some assistance. It's 14-6, still 4-on-3 for the Chiefs. Shot by Randy Stotts. It's going to be tracked down by Ryan Benesh. Does not look like Austin Stotts has returned to the Chiefs bench, and really no need to rush him out when you're up 14-6 with 6.5 minutes to go. We do thank you for being with us. There's a shot by Briar Jonathan. He's fighting for the loose ball. Aaron Davis on him. And it's going to be Chiefs possession and a fresh 30. Loose ball foul. Dan Dawson over to Randy Stotts. Creighton Reed jumps out on Dan Dawson. He's just going to run over to the boards and wait for one penalty to expire. Sees a Berard coming out of the box. There's Benesh, goes near side. Bounces straight out off the boards to Dan Dawson, and the Chiefs are setting up 4-on-4. 10 seconds left in the other Maple Ridge penalty. If this ball gets loose, it could be an issue, but Dawson will bury it and make sure it is not. Dan Dawson, what a night this guy's having. He is such a force out on the lacrosse floor.
He is absolutely dialed in tonight, and he is so good in tight. He's got that big, long reach, and he can just reach around goalies. Goalies have such a difficult time to see where that ball comes from. And an underrated little pass there by Randy Stotts. You see fake, boom, little cross body twister shot. And just a beautiful feed by Stotts there. Dawson, so big, so dangerous. Having himself a great night. We've seen the brothers of the Dawsons. And actually, as I'm speaking there, Dylan Ward comes out. And Doug Jamieson comes in. It's his first Mann Cup appearance.
And, good for him getting a bit of time. He is going in the NLL draft. He has renounced his eligibility. And we'll go in the draft and expect him to go high. I think number 4 to Georgia.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty good spot for him.
Yeah. Boy, you can get. I know they just signed Mike Poulin, but you can get a goalie for the next decade.
Yeah, exactly.
Or more. I mean, the kid's he's got another year of junior lacrosse left.
Yeah.
Doesn't he? He does, right?
I think, yeah, he does.
Yes, he does. So.
Was playing in the indoor junior challenge as well, so.
Right.
So young enough to be playing in that.
He's got a couple of years left.
Yeah.
In junior. Chiefs just waiting up top, 17 on the shot clock. Now they'll start to move in. We're back to 5-on-5. Ryan Benesh moves it down to Briar Jonathan. Not a lot of urgency on offense for the Chiefs. Keogh gets it. A diving attempt, and Keogh shoots. That one's going to bounce all the way down the floor. 3 seconds left on the clock, and Doug Jamieson will get his first touch of the ball in the Mann Cup and head back in. Of course, Warren Hill was the backup for much of the year. Brendan Mulligan gets some playing time, which was precious few minutes for him during the regular season. Charles Claxton did get a game in, but he hasn't been with the team for a while. Riley Lowen is stripped. It looks like McIntosh had it, but it's actually in the stick of Sid Smith. Tell you, I'm not sure who's leading this game in loose ball, Sid Smith or Dane Michaud.
It's
I'd
got
have
to
to go
be
with
tight.
Michaud.
Yeah.
They've both been very prescient when the ball is popping loose. Chiefs really taking their time now. The long pass to Roger Weiss. That's a pretty athletic play for the veteran Weiss to go up and keep it from going into the stands. 4 seconds on the shot clock, and Dan Dawson will just drop it in the corner. Chiefs may not take another shot tonight. 15-6. Don't expect this is what will happen in the rest of the series. This was a game one. We talked before the game about how hard it can be for your first game, that the delayed flight, the lighting. I mean, there's a lot of factors. If there's anything we know, it's the Maple Ridge Burrards have overcome adversity to get here. We'll see if they can come back in game two. We hope he'll be with us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. There's a save for Jamieson. Bounces out to Taylor, and he gets that first one out of the way. You always want to feel that first one hit you.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Mallory getting into it with Mike McNamara. The M&M's in front, and their battle continues as Taylor spins off his check. Jeremy Thompson comes after him. Taylor shoots. Jamieson had to be alert on that one. A nice spinning shot. Von Harris misses it, but gets it eventually.
It's a couple really nice saves by the young goaltender.
Oh, he's a good one. He's a franchise keeper.
Yeah. And that's why he's going to go so early in that NLL draft. Like you said, you can grab a young goalie for a decade or possibly more because he's so young. And sure, they have another goalie, but you see a lot of NLL teams go with two solid goalies.
Some penalties coming here. A little pushing and shoving. Von Harris getting into it with Zach Porter. Looks like they'll both go. Von Harris plays I'm just going to the bench. I don't know that you called me for a penalty card, but gets pulled back out. Thanks, everyone, for being with us here. .249 to go. We will have 4-on-4. And we're going to be, remember, tweet us at JVI Video for your Thompson Brothers 3 stars. Thompson Brothers Lacrosse 3 stars. We're having a little trouble because there were some issues with point streaks tonight. It's not all up. We don't actually know who scored what exactly, which is always a bit of a factor. But we know that Dan Dawson's been awfully good. We know that, Dane Smith has been good. It's going to be three. I think it's going to be three Chiefs. It's safe to say in this game.
I think so. I think
not
that's
to offend our Western viewers.
No,
but I think
they understand.
Yes. McIntosh throws it across to Lowen. McIntosh to Davis. What a nice play. Tic-tac-toe. And Davis buries it to make it 15-7.
And that's the type of ball movement that this Burrard team is going to have to do more tomorrow night. Really using their off-ball movement while spinning the ball and getting those open looks on the crease. This is not Jamison's fault. This is just a perfect finish right out in front. Davis doing a good job. That's the second time we've seen him do that tonight. You see that beautiful little bump pick, and he's just wide open. No chance for Jamieson there. And that's like I said, that's great ball movement, and that's good off-ball movement as well. Obviously, it's perfect offense the way that I'm describing it, but when you're playing against a good defensive team like Six Nations, you're going to almost have to be close to perfect.
It's obviously scant consolation for the Burrards, but they will enjoy a little bit of momentum, maybe from that late goal. We're into the final minute and a half, and we're looking for whatever we can because it's been a tough second half of this game for the Burrards, and you could kind of see their energy lagging. I think before the Chiefs really went, or as the Chiefs started to go on their big run, and that is it's tricky. There's a shot by Lowe, and it's good to see they're not giving up. They never do.
See, Berard's, that's good that, like you mentioned, it's good that they're still chugging. And an outside rip by Goodwin showing his field lacrosse skill set. A little shake and bake backstep sub shot for the sub shot folks. Underhand rip there. Post and in. Really nice goal, but at this point in the game, a minute left, they're out of it. Can't really appreciate it as much, but this is just a beautiful backstep and underhand rip piping in. Jamison once again, no chance on that. That's just a perfectly placed shot.
That is a great shot. The nice footwork, like you said, the shake and bake by Connor Goodwin. As we mentioned, we loved watching him play for the McGill Redmen. He was something else. I mean, just a tremendous player on the field, and he is really showing some stuff here. We like him. I mean, I like what he brings. He hasn't been the most visible tonight.
Nope.
But that ball gets away. We're into the final 35 seconds. Remember, tomorrow night, game 2 at 8 o'clock here from the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena. Zach Porter drops that ball. And we definitely expect a much more competitive game as the Berards find their legs and find their rhythm here. David Brock with the check, but a nice job fighting it off to get a shot by Connor Goodwin. He's really coming into his own here in the third period. And 10 seconds left. It will end 15-8. A little bit of a run at the end by the Berards. Zach Porter chopping Paul Dawson. He winds up. Porter gets into his face, grabs him by the jersey. Porter is pulling Dawson, and Paul Dawson is not going to go with it. It's 15-8.
No.
Try and give him Zach Porter. It's almost comical. You see them, just the difference in size.
Yeah.
But Zach Porter, we talked about the Berards fear no one, and Porter fears no one, not even the big, tough Paul Dawson. Smart decision by Dawson to just shake that one off when you're up. But, courageous, good effort by Porter to try and get something stirred up.
Yeah, you know what? It was good to see them not really just lay over and, pack this one in and wait for game 2. It's nice to see that they did have some pushback in that third period. Like you said, don't expect this series to go this way. Obviously, when you look at these two teams on paper, Six Nations is obviously stronger, on defense, in goaltending, and on defense. But if you looked at the Berards lineup in their entire playoff roster, you could argue that, they were outmatched there as well, and it's a team game that they're going to need to come up with a couple points here, or a win here in this series. I expect them to play that high tempo that we saw early on in that first period, early on in the second period, but unfortunately they couldn't string a full game together. We'll see if they can do that tomorrow.
I just want to talk about what's going on here, because the Berards started heading to the dressing room after the game was over, and they some of them realized, they're doing the player of the game presentations. They come back out, a coach runs in, grabs them, and they come back out onto the floor for the presentations. Pretty classy move. And Dan Taylor runs out to go get his player of the game presentation for the Berards. So you got to like seeing that they, honest mistake. I think they forgot.
It's the first time they've been in the Mann, so they don't know the protocol.
Yeah, and I think they forgot. I'm sure they were told. I would guess they forgot. You can forget a lot of things. Sam McDade is on the floor with, it looks like, Ethan O'Connor.
Yes, I am, guys. I'm alongside Ethan O'Connor. Ethan, let's start off. Game 1, Six Nations managed to tally that in the win column. How important was getting that first win under your guys' belt in this series?
It's probably the most important thing you can do in the series. I mean, first couple periods, you're figuring the other team out. You've never played them before. It's a different style of lacrosse out in West. So to get the win with a lot of the unknowns, we couldn't ask for a better start.
Six Nations had a lot of possession in this game. What was the key to keeping, stealing, and capitalizing on it today?
I think just trying to work harder than they do. They're a hardworking team. We've got talent, but obviously, old cliche, if talent doesn't work hard, hard work beats talent, right? So we're just trying to match them, and that's what's going to take to win the series. Just working harder than them.
You did a great job working hard, if you will. Going down on your breakaway, you kept possession, you protected the ball really well. What was the key, to protecting the ball, and can you walk us through that play and why it worked out so well for you?
It came off a good D set. We kept them to an outside shot and just got a lucky bounce off the boards, and I got a jump on the guy, and went down the floor and lucky went in. I mean, but like I said, it just starts with the defense on our end, and that's what it leads to.
Lastly, Ethan, Six Nations looking forward to Game 2 tomorrow. What can fans, what can viewers expect from you guys?
Just another hard-working game. Like I said, we got to work hard, work that team.
Well, thanks so much for this, Ethan. We'd also like to congratulate you on JVI Sports Network on your recent engagement, and I'll let you celebrate with the team. Thanks for chatting with me. No problem. Let's send it back upstairs to Stephen and Pat. They've got a little bit of a close-up for you guys and a post-game analysis on the 60 minutes of play, guys.
Thanks, Sam. Great work down there. And Ethan O'Connor, one of the guys working hard for the Chiefs.
Yep.
And they kept things together. They the last few minutes, they really slowed it down. Dan Dawson, with a handful of points tonight, is moving up. He may have caught Josh Sanderson. He did have, I think, 6 points, 3 goals, 3 assists, I believe. We're still kind of catching up on the points here. Hard to keep track of him, but he has passed. Josh Sanderson is moving up on Bill Wilson. And Gary Gate and Scott Evans not far out of his reach. He's going to make some headway in this one.
Yeah, and if he plays like the way he did tonight, he might find himself really climbing up this list. He was, so dominant in tight. He's got that little reach around, I should say, shot that's just so tough for goaltenders to stop. And Chiliano, you mentioned, not the greatest night for him. He's going to have to rebound. And with this powerful offense of Six Nations, Chiliano's going to have to be on top of his game.
And now we go to the Thompson Brothers Lacrosse. 3 stars. Our thanks to the Thompson Brothers for sponsoring this. And Ryan Benesh with a few goals. Just some great shooting by Ryan Benesh.
Yeah, we saw vintage Ryan Benesh picking the far side on his first one and then putting it in the smallest of holes on the short side for his second one. A really strong game for the veteran.
The second star of the game with a goal and 5 helpers is Dane Smith. And he's just so quick. And it's interesting, Sam actually reminded us when she was saying, what would it be like to win here? 2 years ago, he was here at the Mann Cup playing for the Victoria Shamrocks.
Oh, yeah.
So he was on the losing side of that one and would love to be on the winning side here. And then Dan Dawson, he was the player of the game. He just talked about how good he is. Boy, what a night.
Yeah, he had a fantastic night. The big play for me was him taking that huge hit out in front of the net, and then obviously his brother picking up the shot. He didn't get the goal there, but for him to take that hit, being a real gritty player he is.
And his brother caught it.
Yeah.
That will do it for JVI Sports Network's presentation of Game 1 of the 2016 Mann Cup Finals. Come and join us tomorrow night at 8. I'm Steven Stamp with Pat Gregoire. For all of us here at JVI Sports Networks, thanks for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow night.